Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the MinnMax Show, a place about games, friends, and getting better. I'm Ben Hansen, joined by Kyle Hilliard.
Hello, it's me.
Leo Vider.
What's up?
And Kelsey Lewin.
Here for the first time.
Yeah, welcome. Do you guys ever just have moments of, I promise I'm not going through a crisis, but just, this morning as I was making coffee, I was just thinking about the idea of like, we're still doing this. We're still doing the MinnMax Show every week. This thing is like, we're really still in it. We're living it right now, you know?
You made a thing, and it just works.
It's a self-propelling machine. It's fueled by us playing great games like, that's right, Samson, a Tyndalston story. We're going to talk about that game on this here episode of the podcast. We're going to be talking about People of Note, a cool new RPG. We're talking about Monster Hunter Stories 3. Leo, I dare you to guess the subtitle of that one.
Radiata Stories.
You idiot. Of course, it's Twisted Reflection. Then we're talking about Star Fox with Kyle jumping back in time and playing some oldies but some goodies on the GameCube. And then we're talking about Mr. Sleepy Man. And I'm not talking about Kyle Hilliard.
Wake up, dude.
Wake up, bro. Back half of the show, we have some great questions that people submit over there on Patreon that we greatly appreciate. Couple things. Next week's episode of the podcast might be a bit late. We're probably going to be doing a live episode on YouTube on Thursday or maybe Friday next week because I'm going to be in Spain and traveling back, and Jacob Geller and I will be scrambling before we get to that episode next week. But we're excited to talk about Pragmata and a bunch of stuff there. But we're going to Spain for a MinnMax Community Spotlight, highlighting Deconstruct Team. And so there's a link in the description below if you want to learn more about that. And specifically, if you want to come out to the community meetup, which it's happening on Tuesday, April 14th in Valencia. So if you're anywhere near Valencia, you want to come out and say hello to Jacob Geller and I, check out the description for more info on that meetup. It's going to be from like 6 to 9 p.m. on Tuesday, April 14th in Valencia. Right now, I think there are like 6 people who have RSVP'd, which that actually sounds lovely. It was just like us sitting around a little bar in Valencia with 6 people. That sounds dandy. So I'm excited for it. No matter what
Smoking
happens.
cigars.
Yeah. Whatever you got to do, whatever the Valencian thing to do is, we're going to be doing it, by God.
Big cigars, apparently.
Oh, yeah. Cigars and oranges.
How's your Spanish?
Oh, great question. Muy bien. I mean, I was just in Puerto Rico for a couple weeks, so I kind of got some dust off of some edges of my college and high school Spanish, but it's not great. I'm always in the camp of like, I feel like I can be more respectful by just smiling harder and making it very clear that I don't know anything in English, rather than like trying to take a couple steps into that Spanish and then they're like, oh, and then they start flying. And it's like, sorry, I got to back out. You know, like
that's kind of a compliment. If you are that good at Spanish that like you say a couple sentences and they're like, that guy sounds fluent.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's my nightmare, but I find it doesn't typically happen because you're giving away how little you know in the way you're pronouncing things pretty
My
clearly.
issue is my pronunciation is quite good, which tricks people sometimes. So they're like, oh, I can speak Spanish. And I'm like, not that fast, though. You got to really slow it down.
What is it? Is it just in Texas? Just you nailed the pronunciation, just being amongst enough
Yeah,
speakers?
I just took a lot of years of it. I took 4 years of it in high school and then 2 or 3 in college.
Oh, wow. So, okay, with your level of confidence, if you were going to Valencia, Spain, let's say, you couldn't have the full Spanish accent, right? But if you're going to Valencia, Spain, how much
a very Mexican accent, because that's what I learned.
Yeah. But like, how often would you whip that out? If you're going in to a hotel, would you try and pull out the entire interaction in Spanish?
I did Mexico City last year with my partner, and I tried to speak Spanish as much as possible the entire time. And if I didn't know something, I would try to like look it up and then say it. And then sometimes they would just figure out like, I think I'm better at English than you are at Spanish, and maybe let's just communicate that way. But I really tried. I can usually like communicate my side of the conversation.
Yeah.
It's just when we are getting into a back and forth that I start losing the plot a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can go on rants and stuff. You can get
I can
political.
go on a Spanish rant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was reading about Puerto Rico and stuff, and there were Reddit threads about so many people that are like me. They're like, oh, I like visiting. Maybe I want to move there. And it was nice. Like there are a bunch of threads that are like, hey, I know you're proud of your high school Spanish, but like, if you move here, like you need to be comfortable arguing with somebody coming into your house to fix the water heater in Spanish. Like, if you can't do that, like, keep practicing. Like, you need to be at a level north of just like, hey, these vacation spots are easy in Spanish. It's like, it's a couple notches above that.
You argue.
I really want to go back to
coming
class.
To fix the water heater.
Yeah,
like
you say hotter.
I usually
hotter.
have like a very cordial conversation.
I like it the way it is. Cut it out.
Get out of
They
here.
have really
Go.
aggressive water heater people there in Spain. It's like a real endemic.
Oh, okay, got it.
That's an important thing. Leo, God bless you for jumping on Samson, which is a game that, fun fact.
What's Samson?
Oh, I'm sorry. Samson. Okay, this is a long debate. This is going to be a majority of the segment is whether the game is called Samson or it's called Samson: a Tyndalston story. What's your...
That's the one I played. I read an update from a developer. The game's about to come out. We're so excited about it. Here's what we did. We reworked it. It used to be a way bigger thing, and then we pared down to have like, what can we actually put out? And Samson became Samson: A Tyndalston Story. That's how they put it.
Oh, that makes more sense. Because like on Steam, it's just Samson. Trivia Tower rules, it would be just Samson. But then it is Tyndalston Story here and there. So they're kind of pulling from that Liberty City stories. So here's the thing. This is an open world game from Liquid Swords, which is a studio that we had an interview about years and years ago. Back in like 2022, we talked to Christopher Sundberg about the founding of this studio and kind of the origins of Samson, a Tyndalston Story. But Christopher Sundberg, he's also the co-founder of Avalanche, the studio behind Just Cause and Mad Max. Great games, yeah. So he left a while ago and then built up Liquid Swords, and this is their first big game out there that's GTA-inspired, gritty crime story, open world, but as we like to say here at MinnMax, every game is interesting, and it's an interesting game because they built out the city of Tyndalston. We know it, we love it, and then they're trying to stitch together what gameplay could be with pretty simple missions in this thing, which leads to it being a wonky, surreal release.
Yeah, it's a game that's punching so far above its weight so clearly that I can't help but lean in like a injured baby bird on the side of the road and go like, what can I do with this? What is the value of this? As I would with a baby bird. They're clearly like going to be going for something.
Are you fun to the baby bird?
Yeah, right. Are you worth the money of saving you? But there's definitely some interesting stuff in here, but it's kind of mind's eye like.
Yes.
In that this universal touchstone, in that they are trying to be GTA and trying to do some cool new things, but are shooting for the moon and landing way too low and being way too similar to the ways that GTA is mid without improving on it and being worse in a lot of ways too.
It is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's specifically GTA 4. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but like I just have that memory of like Xbox 360 Grand Theft Auto specifically, and it's kind of like paring down to the elements of Grand Theft Auto that are like just fine. You know, it's like these aren't the elements I like about Grand Theft Auto, but I do put up with them in Grand Theft Auto, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But totally the positives of 4 that I love so much, the sense of place, the groundedness, at least where you start out, like you have this crappy second floor walk up apartment you have to go to at the end of every single day. And there's some cool groundedness in the like you are really down on your luck. Every dollar really counts for you. That is potentially strong. Some of the stylistic stuff is strong. It's like, pulpy crime. I've liked movies with this kind of energy before.
Right.
But
Yeah,
those are the good things.
Weird about like having to have a certain amount of money every day.
So yes, there's
ideas here. Like that's what we're getting at. There's a lot of stuff here.
There is a lot of stuff there. That is the part that's interesting. Is like, oh, it has rogue elements in an open world game that's a little bit like GTA, and then another one of those bullet points of like, wait a minute, is no guns, only melee. And there's like, it's big into fist combat. We'll get into that. Maybe it's not the strongest component of the game. But then also it's like, it has a little bit of like that Indiana Jones thing of like, you're also picking up a lot of objects. Like, hey, here's a frozen fish. Pick that up and chuck it across the room. Like improvised melee weapons. And like, it was refreshing to see, in the pitch for this game, in the email and stuff that came through in their official site, something about like open world crime game, no guns. Like, that's, you know what? You got to have a bullet point, and that's actually making me more interested in Samson.
For sure. The unfortunate thing is the melee combat feels about a full year from being finished.
Yeah.
It's really,
It's rough. Yeah.
really something. There's glimpses of cool animations in there, but just like inputs are getting eaten constantly and parries aren't working when they should. You're not able to like cancel out of hits to parry, and the window outside, like that the hit continues, is way longer than it feels. You can't really be as fluid as you want to, and every animation looks so chunky and jarring, and like it's jumping between these things that never feel like what you're intending. I really leaned in and given this game the benefit of the doubt, and I really don't think the combat is there to be learned and mastered.
But Arena seemed Camp Leo of like, look, this is not a masterpiece, but I'm kind of happy to be playing it. Like there is a charm to Samson that I'm still trying
There's the line. I'm happy this exists.
It's close to that. It's close to it, but it's just like there's something soothing. And like, yeah, GTA 4 for me, it's like the missions almost feel like GTA 3 missions at a certain point. And like when the city looks this good and you're just doing GTA 3 style missions, I'm like, it has a little something to it that I'm enjoying here.
I also like the scale.
Yes.
Right? Like it's not crazy big, right? It's like it feels like they figured out like how big the city could be for them to sort of like make an enticing game that's not over long. Like I also like, this is a little weird detail, but like you have a car and you can call it, right? Like you could in Cyberpunk, which made sense because you had AI drivers and your car would pull up. But I like that whenever I call my car in Samson, basically I just like click my, the horn honks. And it's just like off screen, like it had been parked there. So you just like swing the camera around and it's like there. And it's like, doesn't make any sense at all. But it kind of feels natural in a way that I like, where you're like, where's my car? Oh, all right, there it is. It's right there. I parked it there.
Yeah, it's so funny, like with the car too, that looks like a little bit kind of the muscle car from Mad Max. And so in my notes even wrote down like, oh, the car is a little bit like the Magnum Opus, which is the car in Mad Max. And then I looked up on their official site and stuff, and they just call like, yeah, in Samson Tyndalston story, you're driving the Magnum Opus. They just call it the same thing as it was called the Mad Max. Like, why the hell not? I guess everything's generic enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah, technically, before...
It does kind of have those vibes of the original Mad Max, where it's like civilization is kind of still there. There are police officers, sort of.
But imagine
we're
it's
just
like...
on the edge of the apocalypse. We haven't gone full Road Warrior yet, but we're like there,
But imagine like Mad Max is constantly shipping money to St. Louis. That's kind of the vibe here. Because, Leo, can you explain the structure of this game and what's so wonky about it?
You owe a lot of money to the mob. The roguiness is that you are gaining money throughout the day for missions, and there's an amount that has to be paid at the end of the day. And it's so far, even if you get over it, I guess you can choose to pay less, but usually you pay all of your money at the end of the day. So you could use it during the day to repair your car a little bit, get some nitro, whatever. But at the end of the day, it all goes to the mob and restarts. And each phase of the day, morning, evening, night, there's a perk for that time of day of like on foot missions give you more money. Your car does more damage. Things that are ostensibly interesting, but just aren't complex enough to be interesting. It's like the perk is on foot missions give me more money. I will go do an on foot mission then. Like, I don't know what complicated choice I make because of that. It's just like, okay, it kind of steers me to do that. But there's that lightest little rogue thing that, again, leaning in, benefit of the doubt, seeing if that expands more. It does not seem to. It's kind of the basest layer. But on that, like, I think the driving's pretty strong, and I think it is an interesting case in friction making a game like automatically more fun and more interesting. The fact that your car getting damaged affects how it drives and affects how much money you'll have to put into repairing it eventually. Suddenly every driving mission is really tense and you're really focused in on like all this other layer that is mattering versus just GTA. I'll run over every single pedestrian. I'll smash through every single light pole. Yeah. That kind of stuff. And the time spending thing of this mission is going to take 2 points of my action points per day. And if I fail it, then I have missed that window of the day to make money. And I'm going to have a lot more time struggling for that end total at the end of the day. That stuff I think is interesting and is a little test, and like simple game with this layer on it, it becomes cool and everything matters a little more.
Yes.
But I just can't like recommend this game as if it's a real game right now, because it's not it's too buggy and too unreliable to have that kind of impact with every mission, have everything matter that much. I had a mission where I had to steal a taxi and pick up a guy and go bring him somewhere and beat him up. I played that, stole a taxi, went to pick up the guy. He walked up to the car, walked right past it, walked away. I backed up, honked the horn, tried to get him to come in, followed him until eventually I was too far from the pickup spot and I failed the mission. I quit and came back after another patch because it was pre-release. Same thing happened. Quit, came back after another patch, the day one patch, the release patch. Said hopefully they got to it by now. They sure didn't. He's standing by the car. I'm trying to get him to come in any way. And then I get rear-ended by a cop car at top speed. And then I'm wanted and I have to escape the cops. And there's been like following missions where it's not even clear why the mission failed, but it suddenly failed. And having high stakes on everything, it's just not in a playable state, really. You can't get through it.
It's why it's that thing we've talked about it like before, but like the Skyrim bugginess like is sometimes charming because you can just kind of like go back, right? And like you can reload that save and it's fine. Where it's like you're right. Once the bug like really hurts your progress, then it becomes like a problem, you know? And that is the case here, where it's like, yeah, I can enjoy a physics bug in a weird open world like grungy game, but yeah, when it's like, well, I can't do anything else this morning and I lost a bunch of money and I still have to continue forward, it becomes frustrating.
And the entire time, I don't know about you guys, but Samson's hair, Samson's flowing locks, which are very important to Samson, there's like glitching out all over the place. And it's like there's every story cutscene, like Samson's mouth isn't moving. Maybe that's the way they do it in Tyndalston. I'm not quite sure. But
Tyndalston style, baby. In the settings, the hair strands, it does say experimental for the hair strands technology, so you might want to flip that off.
Okay. It might be important.
Still experimenting.
Just to offer a little counter here, I've actually had an okay experience. I mostly played this morning.
Yeah.
And I've certainly hit bugs, but nothing that was really, I didn't grab crazy hair or no mouths moving or anything like that. So it's smoothing out, but it's still rough.
You guys, look, with a game called Samson: A Tyndalston Story, you think the number one thing you want to do is dunk on Tyndalston? I really like this environment, honestly. Like, I'm walking around the environment like, this looks good. There's so much detail happening in the mean streets of Tyndalston. Like, I'm kind of into the city, again, with GTA 4 level compulsion. I'm just like, yeah, it's a cool environment to be around.
And I love being a broke POS.
Yeah.
That's so much more fun than being able to fly around with a jet to me.
Yeah.
Go on, Kelsey.
Tyndalston, not a real place, right?
No, only in our deepest imaginations.
But St. Louis, very much a real place.
Yeah.
Okay, just
I suppose
making sure.
It's kind of. I guess it is weird to have the fusion of like some fiction, nonfiction, but it's a narrative world. Tyndalston. Yeah. That's the thing, Kelsey, is it feels like a real place. And in interviews talking about it, they said Tyndalston is their Gotham, a place they want to come back to again and again as they keep building out games in this arena that are set around Tyndalston. But then it's interesting how much they talked about Yellowstone in the interviews as well. They're like, we're big fans, and this is a Swedish team, keep in mind, but they're like, we're big fans of Taylor Sheridan's work in world building in Yellowstone, and how like they can jump from Yellowstone to 1883 to 1923, and it's all centering around the same place. Like, that is the philosophy they're approaching Tyndalston in. Unfortunately, they called it Tyndalston, which is just
with a Y. If we haven't been pronouncing that right,
like what?
But like, I do think,
Samson. The name is funny too because like there's a lot. There's a lot of Max Payne vibes in this game. I mean, you literally take pain pills as your health item, and it's like the thing about Max Payne is like that name is really enticing. It's silly. It's a pun, maybe depending on how you look at it, and it's like, but it's like. I don't know. It explains the game in a weird way, where Samson is just a dude's name. Like it's just like it's not like it doesn't stand out to me as like some intimidating guy or something like that.
You're saying Samson McRae, the best legendary getaway driver in the world, doesn't stand out to you as a legendary guy? Come on, man.
Sorry, sorry, Samson.
It's an interesting example, of like creating like I think a really cool city environment and then naturally hitting some budget constraints and be like, how do we restructure this when we can afford to do kind of simple GTA 3, simple GTA 4-esque missions, and let's try to slap some rogue elements in there. And you're right, Leo, like it adds to the tension in a way that I think is really smart for the limitations here. Also, big factor, I don't know if you saw this, the game is $25 too, which I think is a really interesting price
cool.
point for this, isn't it?
I like that. Feels right.
Yeah, that's enough to
I'm
make
intrigued
you
by
not
this
go
game.
for the refund immediately.
Okay.
So maybe I'll wait for updates.
All right.
The highest compliment I can offer Samson potentially in when there is a game that we'll be talking about soon that I really love, and there's a lot of good games coming out soon. I don't think I'm going to uninstall it. I'm going to come back to it and play a little more maybe, but it's I can't see myself seeing credits on this one if I'm being fully honest. But I think I went in with really low expectations too.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was just like, oh, is this like some like what was the Mind's Eye?
Mm-hmm.
I did not play Mind's Eye, but I have to imagine this is doing something more than Mind's Eye was. Just like based on the feedback, which isn't fair to Mind's Eye to be frank, but like this, I think the comparison is apt, but it's like I think there's more here.
Yeah, as far as core gameplay, for sure. But I do think, I was rooting for it and am rooting for it and am interested to see where it goes. But even the roguelike stuff is not quite there. It's not quite all the interesting ideas I hope there would be for it being such an odd scale of project. It's still like your big special move is rage mode, where you yell and you do harder punches, and you have rage mode for your car.
When you do it in the car, he like honks his horn a lot, which is very funny.
Do you think, am I reading too much into this? But like, there's something interesting about games that are set in like modern city environments, like open world games, or everybody naturally will compare it to GTA. But I think it's tougher to do like, I don't know, a B game level GTA style open world city game. I feel like people turn on them so quickly. I'm trying to think of, is just Saints Row the most successful? Am I forgetting something that's close? Whereas I feel like with the fantasy genre for open worlds, people will accept some jank. It's a lot more like, well,
Yeah, honestly, I was wondering about that because it is like, it does feel like a core mistake to have this world take itself so seriously, so that when a pedestrian walks into your car and glitches through it and falls over backwards, in a Saints Row, you're like, I've been laughing and now I'm laughing at this. This is like, okay, you're not creating a illusion whatsoever here.
Yeah, and if that was an L for something, I guess I wouldn't mind it clipping through a wagon as much as, well, I know streets, so I'm going to judge it harsher, so therefore people are less willing to accept open world crime games.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe an unexpected comparison, but like Promise Mascot Agency
I was thinking
is
about that a
actually
lot.
like the best version of it, I think, where it's like small scale open world contemporary city. But I mean, Promise Mascot Agency definitely has a level of weird fantasy to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that is a game that I played a fair bit of and enjoyed, and was like, because I was getting GTA vibes from it, from the driving around,
Yeah.
I also did not find, I didn't play that game to completion or anything, but I did not find that game to be particularly glitchy. It worked pretty well.
Oh yeah, Promise Mascot
super
Agency,
way polished.
was solid. Yeah.
All right, there's Samson, a Tyndalston story. Did I stutter? I'm sorry. A Tyndalston story. I want to get that across. Cool effort. It's one of those like there's an audience that could lap this up. Like I saw JV Voltney on Blue Sky or whatever being like, hang on, I love GTA 4. Should I actually look at Samson?
Oh yeah, they made this game for JB.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's how that
Right.
works.
It must be so frustrating to hear me play Elden Ring for a couple hours ago. I don't care about this, whatever, and then really try and see every possible good thing about Samson and Tyndalston story.
Is it at PC only, I would assume?
It is right now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just wait, Leo. Once they add like the 3-player battle royale-esque version of Samson Tyndalston's story, just like Night Rain, you're going to be so into it again, man. It's going to bring you right back in.
I think once you go underground in Samson, and you see how much more of the world there is, you'll really, once you go on that elevator and see the underground sky.
You know how you see things, Leo?
I thought I did. I never questioned it till now.
Yeah, well, you know what else you can do? Some would argue it's more important. Hearing things, am I right?
What?
Which makes me exactly my point. Leo, that's why you need Raycon, everybody. Some Raycon Everyday Earbud Classics. They are available for you with a link below, 15% off. This message, of course, is sponsored by Raycon. They brought to you this episode here. They want you to know that you don't need to pay an infinite amount of money. When you hand over your credit card and it just says the infinity symbol sometimes when you're trying to buy some fancy AirPods and stuff.
Hate that.
I hate that. That's why they have great earbuds that are affordable here with up to 32 hours of battery life, quick charge function, 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of playtime with the Raycon Everyday Earbuds Classic. You don't need to break the bank just to have great earbuds where you have noise cancellation, all this happy stuff. They say they have over 3 million customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee. My God, there's zero reason to overpay for earbuds moving into the future, everybody. And they want you to know that with Mother's Day coming up, earbuds, great gift. In fact, these Raycons, I gifted them to my mother. I preempted Mother's Day out of the kindness of my heart. She was over the moon. Fancy earbuds, my God, and they're so affordable, she said. She was quite delighted. So you can celebrate the moms in your life. Go to, this is about celebrating your mother. Go to buyraycon.com/MinnMax to get 50% off the Everyday Earbud Classics. That's 15% off by going to raycon.com/MinnMax. 15% off, everybody. Thanks, Raycon, for sponsoring this episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. People of Note is a game that just launched. This is an RPG that is a musical RPG, is the cleanest way to describe what's happening here. Like listening to interviews with the creative director, he literally is like, yeah, I don't know, I walked out of Hamilton back in 2016 and I was like, well, everybody's gonna make a musical video game. And then it turns out not that many people did. It's like People of Note has been in the works for a long time. There's like some other stuff around the edge, like Stray Gods is a musical game. I don't know if that one was directly Hamilton inspired, but this is very much.
Rush.
Okay, Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if that was Hamilton inspired. I didn't know that was a thing.
It was basically Hamilton the video game.
I think so. Yeah. So
Here's
imagine.
War 5, you guys.
That's right. But like imagine like a classic Final Fantasy, but everything through the lens of music. Music for your attacks. Music is the world. The world is called Note. And so everything is through this musical lens. And like, I don't know if you had the same experience I did, but like jumped into it. It's like, oh, this is surprisingly solid. I don't know why my expectations were low for this thing, but like it is a solidly built little RPG here. But I'm curious, Kelsey, what you think about this so far?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the music thing is incredibly in your face, and I don't know if you guys went through the same trajectory as me, but I started with like, okay, we get it. Yes, everything is music thing. And then I had an encounter with an enemy called the Weird Owl. And there were owls that had like Weird Owl hair and facial hair and everything. And I was like, okay, never mind. I'm back on board. This is great.
Yeah, but then Kelsey, you run into lines of dialogue like, we'll sing that bridge when we come to it. And it's like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this everywhere.
Well, they really saved themselves with Weird Owl. So I agree with you. I think this is more solid than I think I expected it to be. What I really like is I really genuinely liked the dungeon. Like I've only done the first dungeon of the game so far, but they have an interesting take on a random battle system, which is just you just decide when you want to get into a random battle. So if you're like, you know what, I'm like 30 XP points from the next level. I think I just want to do one random battle and just get there real quick, just be a little bit more equipped.
I'm sure you guys ran into the same thing too, where there's a guy who's like selling things where you have your vinyls that you exchange. And I was like, I don't know, 5 short of just like emptying his whole inventory. And I was like, all right, well, I'll just do a bunch of battles right here. And you just press a button and like, but otherwise it's like, yeah, you it's not random, truly. You know, no one's running at you and starting a fight without your knowledge. Yeah,
I think it's a much better way to go. And like they have a lot of kind of accessibility things that are really nice in the menus too, of just like, hey, if you want to turn off all like the timing based stuff, you can do it. If you want to skip any puzzle in a dungeon or something, you can do that. Like it's nice just to have turn-based RPGs be this approachable and friendly and like customizable for like you play the way you want to play. You want to get into a random battle, whenever you want to get into it, jump on in.
Are you guys playing on Steam Deck? That's where I've been playing.
Yes.
Did you have to like really crank up the sort of offset for the sort of time button pressing?
I did.
I was like shocked like how much
I would
had
not
to turn
say
it up to get it
really
right.
crank it up, but I did have to crank it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of an RPG, of really like any turn-based RPG that like has timed button pressing like that. Really, anytime I play an RPG without it, I miss it now.
Yeah.
Like I just, even Metaphor was kind of like a slog for me at a certain point because I was just like, I'm just selecting menus. But I will say this one, it does, with all the musicality and everything, it does like claim that it's like, yeah, it's kind of like rhythm combat, but it's like it's really not like there's not really you're not playing rhythm games. It's just like you're just trying to hit like the circle as it closes. Like I almost wish it was a little bit more musical in that sense. But I don't want to like sort of criticize it for things I want it to be more of. But I was just kind of surprised more than anything else. So it's like, oh, it's not. I thought the combat was going to be like rhythm based. It's not really.
I felt the same way, Kyle. Because again, we're all still fairly early game, I believe, at this point. Yeah. But I've gotten a couple of new moves, and they're just. It's like 2 timed button presses, 1 to 2 time button presses on them. And it doesn't change or anything. And so that does, I can imagine that as we get further.
It's not like,
Well, it's like, yeah, I guess it sort of is, but not really. Like, it's not like a part of the music. It's just like you're timing it and the music helps you cue that up. But that's kind of it.
Yeah. Elite Beat Agent style button presses as we're going in for that thing. But yeah, there's something just kind of comforting about it. Like even the opening, I was like, oh, it kind of feels like Final Fantasy X instead of like having the big blitzball thing, but it's like the big concert that's happening, kind of the build up to that, just the big climactic thing. But like I guess they're very inspired by kind of the older Final Fantasies.
It is a little bit of me playing it of like, this is actually kind of what I want for Final Fantasy as a franchise. Like I kind of want them. Like my prediction has been like the next Final Fantasy will be turn-based again.
Sure,
but I almost wouldn't mind if it even went back to these sort of like camera perspectives and stuff like that. Like I think it's like kind of time to loop back around and like sort of re-examine why the genre is like what works about that sort of setting and like how that helps with world building and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's all to say like it's like I kind of went in with like, middle of the road expectations, and it's like this is better than I thought it would be, and I want to play more of it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know what it is about that camera that just makes me happy with like the setting, like just having just that lockdown camera, like occasionally when it is tracking with you, it feels like a camera from Final Fantasy X again, which kind of brings it back to that whole thing. But how's the dungeon, Kelsey? How's that experience for you?
I liked it. I thought it was like the right length, the right amount of puzzle, just kind of I genuinely just thought it was a very well constructed dungeon. Like you get in, it's a nightclub, rather than a real dungeon, and you're kind of figuring out ways to get through these different rooms. There is like a lever you ultimately will need to get, and you have to solve a little puzzle to get the ability to push this lever, and all the while, there's a couple of like kind of mini, not even boss fights, there's just like a couple of mandatory fights, and then you get to the end boss fight, and I thought the boss design was quite good too. It really changed the way that I normally do my boss fights. It's, you've got a boss in the middle and then like 2 kind of sub enemies around the sides, and my normal strategy would be pick off the little ones so I can focus, but it very explicitly is like, hey, the boss is going to get more and more powerful the more time goes on. So then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I actually need to like totally rethink my strategy and do this, try to get the boss done as quick as possible. I thought the fight would just end at that point, but no, you do have to kill the little underlings too. But yeah, I thought that was a cool little twist. I mean, none of these are like groundbreaking things, but I appreciate when I play an RPG and there's like, okay, they're doing something a little different with the random encounters. Okay, they're doing something a little bit different with the boss battles. And so I think this is like just enough of a little spice, a little flavor on an RPG, and I think it works. I think they did a good job.
Yeah, and then there's also musical sequences in there, if we didn't mention that, of like they break out into song every once in a while. It's like, yeah, you know what? If that's like the equivalent of having like a big expensive cutscene in a PS1 RPG, like it's kind of fun. Like every once in a while, like, all right, when you get to meet a new character, maybe they're just gonna break out into song and have like this whole musical sequence for a bit. Like, yeah, this is a cool thing to just spread out throughout it. And I guess like the entire game
with
like,
QTEs and stuff, or
just sit back and enjoy.
Okay, respect.
And the first one was good song. Like it was, I don't know if I'm going to pull it up and listen to it outside of the game, but I wasn't like, like sometimes like that kind of situation. I can't think of a lot of examples of it. Like kids movies or something where it's like, now we're going to sing the big hit song, and you're like, okay, this is not great. We can't all be K-pop demon hunters. It turns out.
It turns out it's challenging, yeah. But yeah, it's cool to see like kind of the music-inspired games out there. Yeah, I mean, I guess Hi-Fi Rush, even No Straight Roads that came out a couple years ago. I think they're making that sequel to it now. It's kind of like an action brawler again with kind of the musical.
I mean, what was that PS1 RPG where you played as
I was just Rhapsody. Yeah, I was just looking into this because, again, it was like cited by the creative director, and I was like, I've never even looked into Rhapsody, a musical adventure. Do you know that game, Kelsey?
Yeah, I've never played it, and I think there's a DS game too, if I recall correctly. Yeah, they did and I think it might just be a remake of the PS1.
Yeah, because I guess they released it on Steam in 2022, and they say it's the foundation for the entire Disgaea series. But it's also a musical. I'm going to see what this thing is. It sounds cool.
And there's also Eternal Sonata on the 360. I remember that one as well.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, maybe I haven't played that one, but I thought the gimmick with that was more just like they all are famous musicians. It's like
I think
Beethoven and stuff in it, right?
Yeah. All right, people of note.
Coming up, Mr. Sleepy Man. There's a game with a hit track that could be on the radio.
Is it the pause menu?
Some great original songs in there. There's other ones later too.
Hell yeah. What do you think about Mr. Sleepy Man, Leo? Dive on in.
Oh, yeah, sure. I guess if you brought it up. It's good. It's cute. I'm not typically a 3D platformer guy, but it's vibing with it. I might be done with it after 3 hours, but I love what it's doing. I think it's super cute. Solo developer for a 3D platformer world with tons of original songs and art and voice acting. So it's really admirable as a weird vision, and as a playable character, being a guy who's asleep and everybody you talk to starts to talk to you and then they go, wait, are you asleep? That's a pretty enjoyable gimmick.
Yeah, and then like on top of that, to lean into it more, like, okay, you got a pillow to attack with, and you have like your comfy blanket to kind of do like the Wind Waker sail around and stuff for exploring. But Kelsey, have you been playing Mr. Sleepy Man too?
Yeah, I played around with it a little bit. Leo, when you say you're done after 3 hours, that mean the game is 3 hours, or you're just kind of feeling like you've gotten what?
My experience was complete. I might dabble back in, but yeah.
Yeah, because I played a little over an hour of it, maybe more like 2 hours. But yeah, I'm also not a big 3D platformer person. I find I'm not very good at directions, and I find that is especially difficult for me in 3D platformers. So I definitely spent more time than I think the average person would, just kind of being like, okay, where am I? What am I doing here? But it's very cute. The art style is just strange and funky, and I just love a weird looking game and a weird sounding game. And it's got like the sort of like puzzly things you have to solve in there are all very approachable. I mean, you start the game and you got to find a way to like break a window, and it's all pretty like, it's very like, they don't literally tell you what to do, but it's very tutorialized and well broadcast. And I just think that the physics in it are fun. Like you're jumping on little cereal boxes and stuff, and if you are on one side of it, it kind of sinks down, and then you can get like run up the cereal box and get a nice little start for your little blanket that you glide around with. I think it's a neat little thing.
And none of those objectives are like bare bones easy. I'm one of those people on the side of Mario Odyssey being like too many default stars that it kind of makes them not meaningful. It has a ton of easy, shiny things to get, but none that are completely free. So there's a little bit of engaging and a little bit of like exploring. It's like part collectathon, part explorathon, where there's little things you can poke at that you don't quite realize, and mysteries being unraveled, including what the shiny things are for. I think when that reveals what you've been collecting them for is a really cool moment that could only come from a singular weirdo making a fun thing.
Yeah, for a long time. Yeah, it's like, that's the thing. It's more sandbox of just, hey, mess around with this world, talk to people, a little more adventure game nonsense in there, just like discovering.
Okay, so I'm doing it right. I'm not just confused.
You're not missing the painting to jump into to have everything. Cool. Like the idea is to just poke around enough, and then kind of like different challenges emerge, different platforming, collecting things will kind of emerge as you poke out the edges of this thing. But it's definitely not what I was expecting, because I do think there's like, in 2026, there's been a couple of kind of 3D platformers that people have been hot on, like Big Hops and Demon Tides and stuff. And so it's not as clean of a platformer as those, but there is a resurgence, it seems like, of like indie 3D platformers happening this year. And so it's fun to see Mr. Sleepy Man with its weird aesthetic, which, to say weird is too simplistic. I mean, is it just Nickelodeon weird, 3D Nickelodeon PS1 game? Is that kind of the vibe here?
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, but like the weirder side of Nickelodeon, you know?
The darker
Like
edge.
more of a, I don't know, more of a like Rugrats / Ren. Is Ren and Stimpy Nickelodeon? What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, kind of on that side of the animation's a little on the unsettling side.
Yes. Yeah. And then like on top of that adds the layer of kind of nostalgia with, you know, it's got like an N64 at the title screen and like a bunch of GameCube stuff in the settings. Like the controller looks like a GameCube controller, and like you can leaf through the tutorial. It's like an old manual and stuff. It's like it's got a bunch of gaming nostalgia in there too.
Can I tell you guys something really stupid?
Yeah.
The very first thing you do is plug in that cartridge and turn it on and everything. There's a power cord. And there's no video cord, so I spent a little bit walking around being like, where's the video cord? It's not plugged into the TV. I didn't even try to turn
solve a puzzle. Yeah.
No wonder you're bad at platformers, Kelsey. Come on. But yeah,
trying to do real retro game troubleshooting over here. Come on. You can't see Red 64 on the TV because you didn't plug it into the TV.
You're on channel 4, not channel 3. What are you doing?
But yeah, Devin Santi is the name of that developer, but Mr. Sleepy Man's out on Steam and Switch. It'd be a good one just to have on Switch and poke around with, you know, if you like just exploring this kind of wacky 3D sandbox world. Leo, do you ever explore your kitchen?
Really?
Well, good, because there's good food in there, but sometimes it's like, what am I gonna do? Spend half an hour making this food? Who has half an hour, let alone an hour? Some meals, they take all day to make, is what Kelsey's mom explains in her cool streaming show, Dana's Kitchen. Well, that's where Factor can come in. It would put Kelsey's mom out of business, by God, because these are delicious meals ready in 2 minutes.
Don't tell anyone about it. She needs that job.
Please keep this link in the description to yourself and yourself alone. But factormeals.com/MinnMax50 off. You can get fresh, never frozen meals delivered right to your house. I'm talking over 100 rotating weekly meals, including globally inspired meals flavored like you're in the Mediterranean. We have Asian food. We have a ton to look forward to, a ton of variety with Factor meals. Again, get it delivered right to your house. It shows up. You pop this food in the microwave for 2 minutes. You're eating good. I am at ease in my house when I have Factor meals in the fridge, and I know I don't have to worry about a panicked rush meal. It's like, you know what? Easy lunch. Here we go. Bing, bang, boom. Delicious. So you can head to factormeals.com/MinnMax50 off and use code MinnMax50 off to get 50% off and free daily greens per box with new subscription only while supplies last until September 27th, 2026. See website for more details, but click the link below if you would like to try Factor Meals with 50% off. It's good, everybody. Try it. It's damn good. Just like the streak that Capcom's on, everybody, they will not be stopped. They are on a generational run for, the last 10 years of releasing banger after banger. Kelsey, it's been a couple weeks since it came out, but I'm so curious about Monster Hunter Stories 3, of course, the twisted reflection.
Tyndalston story.
That's right.
The Tyndalston reflection.
I feel like this is, when people talk about Capcom's streak, a lot of people, I don't think, are talking about Monster Hunter Stories 3, but like it came out, it's in the RE engine. It's like a huge step up from the last couple of Monster Hunter Story games, and it's getting good reviews. It's at like an 86 on Metacritic. It feels like the word needs to get out there a little bit more that this thing exists. But what do you think about Monster Hunter Stories 3 so far?
Yeah, I resisted playing the Monster Hunter Stories games for so long, and I could not tell you why, because I love Monster Hunter and I love RPGs, so what is my problem? But I think I was just like, those things don't belong together. Those are my two separate interests. How dare you combine them?
Of course.
But I finally was convinced to play this one, especially after looking at some reviews and people like, no, you're not like a little kid in this. It's a pretty solid actual game where there's a lot to do, but it's all very well constructed. I was like, okay, fine. I will try it. Right off the bat, big props to Capcom because it gets you into the action super quickly. You create your character, you watch a little cutscene, and it is really not long until you are at least allowed to just kind of run around on a monster and start fighting stuff and roaming around a like fairly big area and exploring it if that's what you want to do, which is so tempting. I have actually not made that much progress in the story because, I'll get to the gameplay loop in a second, but it's very easy to just kind of keep running around the world and going into monster dens and stuff. But they handle the tutorial really well. Instead of like, again, you're an adult in this game, and you're riding a very powerful, rare monster, a Rathalos, which is not a rare monster in the actual games, but in this it is. And so they're like, well, you wouldn't need a tutorial. So how about you teach a new rider how to play the game, which I thought was just a fun way of handling that. So the combat, I think, is it's solid, but it's almost a little bit more layers than I want it to be.
Oh, really?
So there's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors thing going on between there's like strength attacks, speed attacks, and I think tactical attacks is the other one, or something like that. Mechanical, I can't remember what they call it. But it's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors thing where like if a monster does primarily speed attacks, then you want to be doing power attacks or whatever, right? And then on top of that, you've got the elemental weaknesses and stuff from the actual Monster Hunter game. So certain monsters are going to be weak to certain elements. And then on top of that, you also have the weapon type weaknesses and defenses. And then on top of that, you have the different parts that you can break and everything. So it ends up being like surprisingly layered. And I find it honestly a little bit difficult to follow, especially because sometimes the monsters will change type from the like speed or power or whatever in the middle of combat. It'll be like, oh, the monster's looking, behaving strangely. And then you have to be like, okay, it was speed. What is it now? And there's no like easy indication. So I found myself literally writing things down because I was like, this is just too many layers of like, weaknesses and things to keep track of. So I think that could use maybe a little bit more, maybe just better UI for that. Just making it a little bit more obvious kind of what's going on and what you're doing and if it's going to work or not. And maybe that's the classic Monster Hunter, like, no, just figure it out. You're supposed to make graphs and write things down and all of that, which was my experience with Monster Hunter for a long time. So the combat and the battles can take quite long if you're doing like a boss fight and stuff. So,
and it is turn-based, right? Like it
is turn-based.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And it's fairly generous. Like it has the concept of carting in it. Like you would cart, and if you fail 3 times, or you cart 3 times in a game, in a normal Monster Hunter game, you fail the mission. It's kind of the same thing there. You can get down a couple of times and you're still fine. But the gameplay loop, I think, is really where it shines. Like your goal for all of this. There is a story, by the way. It's a JRPG, so of course there's a story, just like there is in Monster Hunter games. I do not care about this story. Once again, there's I love you, Capcom. I don't think you know how to make a compelling, or maybe I'm just not willing to listen to the same like it's always some variation of like, whoa, the monsters are going crazy this time. We don't know why. Like it's always some, this time they're in weird egg crystal things and they're showing up, and it just,
some games got to stop having stories. I'm not afraid to say that.
But it's so funny because like this is like the entry where this like, it seems like they're stepping up. Like in Stories 3, we are really leading into the story. It seems
so there's like a political conflict going on behind this as well. I have not yet been particularly compelled by it. It seems fairly, run of the mill, like we're warring nations, but we need to come together or else we'll both perish kind of thing. Okay. So
talk about a twisted reflection on society.
Yeah, hey, in my twisted world, that's normal.
It feels like it's exactly, it should be exactly up your alley. And so is it just...
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is. I will get to the gameplay loop part of it, which is where it is super, super good. So your goal is you're going through these different ecosystems and you're supposed to clear this area of a feral monster, which is just a super powerful monster. You don't actually even defeat it. You just kind of drive it away. And then apparently there's like end game stuff where, you can go back and fight it, but it's going to kick your butt until way later in the game. So, and then once you've done that, you can set up a camp where you can start hatching all these monster eggs that you collect, and you can release monsters back into the area, which makes the ecosystem rank go higher, which gives you stat bonuses, which gives you even better monsters that you can come hatch. And then I have not seen a lot of this yet, but you can get like shiny monsters once you get the ecosystem rank high enough. And so there's all these random dens that appear throughout the world, and you'll have regular ones, and then you'll have like rare ones, and then you'll have super rare ones, and you find those and you go inside and you take an egg and maybe you fight a monster if you end up accidentally waking it up. And it's all of these random, obviously when I say gacha, I don't mean in any sort of paid way, but it's a lot of layers of gacha that make it very easy to just kind of go, one more den. I think I see a rare one over there. Let me try that.
Right.
You go in, you get an egg. They'll tell you, this one looks pretty good, or, ooh, this one looks like this is a really good one. And then you go back and hatch it, and you see what stats it has and what abilities it has. And you go, okay, I think I want to raise this one, or maybe I'll release this, and that'll increase my rank of the area, which will make even better stuff happen or appear in the area. And it's just very compelling, and it's why I haven't made that much progress in the story, is because just doing that over and over again is a lot of fun. Like, just traversing the world is very fun. You can ride 6 different monsters. You can have, like, just like Pokemon, you can have a bunch of different monsters in your party, and you can ride all of them, and you can switch seamlessly between them, just like without, you don't have to dismount or anything. You just kind of cycle between them, and so some can climb, some can fly, and it all moves really well in the world. So
yeah, it's just funny to hear that, like, Monster Hunter is like, okay, this is their story-focused spin-off series. Even that, you're like, this story, not so much, but the systems are so good. It sounds like the exact same conversation as mainline Monster Hunter. It's like, it's compelling as hell, just for not the reasons maybe they intended.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's more to this story than, at least from what, I never played the first 2, but reading about them, I was really disinterested in what those stories seemed like they were going to be. They were a lot more, it was described to me as more like Saturday morning cartoon kind of like fun Pokemon adventure with my friends, and we're going to learn the power of friendship, and there's not really that much that goes on. This at least does have some, they're taking a swing with some political conflict and stuff, and it's not nothing, but I think it's hard for me to take the Monster Hunter world super seriously as like a story base, because everything does so often just go back to, oh my god, there's giant monsters here, and they're doing bad things to us because they're big monsters. Oh no, now they're like extra powerful versions of those monsters. Like, they don't have any other conflicts in this world. It's all monster based.
Yeah. I mean, it's out on absolutely everything. Switch 2 version, I guess, it could be more optimized, is the way that I've heard it described.
That's what I've been playing it on, and it's been, honestly, it's been completely fine, except that you will sometimes see the monster in the distance doing the, like, 4 frames per second thing if it's too far in the distance. But, like, it runs fine other than that. It just looks a little janky sometimes.
Yeah. It was weird because I was trying to figure out, like, where did this come from, the series? And, like, the series director, he's directed all 3 of these things. It's Kenji Oguru, and he goes back to, like, Lost Planet. He was, like, director for a lot of the Lost Planet games. And I'm curious how much of the team is actually coming from that Lost Planet team. But he goes back, and he was a designer on Onimusha 1. Like, he's been around at Capcom for a long time. So, like, that Monster Hunter team, old souls over there, keeping this thing rolling. Is it off-putting at all? Do you feel like you needed to play the other 2 in any way, or is this, like, clean entry?
No.
Okay.
Not even a little bit. If it's referencing the events of the other 2, I have not picked up on it.
Okay. Right on. So, recommend as a Monster Hunter fan? Recommend as a JRPG fan?
I honestly don't know if I'm going to finish it, because I don't know how long this story is, and like I said, I just am not all that interested in what's going on with the story.
Yeah.
But I am really liking the gameplay, and I'm having a good time with it.
Oh, nice. The main story, don't worry, is 46 and a half hours. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Don't you want to find out what happens to those kingdoms? I bet you do.
That's like if you had to cook one meal instead of using Factor.
Kyle,
do we have people of note stats for how long?
Yeah,
okay.
it's like 20 hours.
So
yeah.
Okay.
It's like 20, which is like,
that's a nice bite-sized RPG.
I think so. And I'm seeing here that you can beat Star Fox 64 in 14 minutes. is what the sign said. Kyle, what have you been doing with your life? You're inspired by the Mario movie and you're diving back into all things Star Fox?
Yeah, I mean, that's just a statement that just extends to my life. I'm inspired by the Mario movie to just pursue artistic endeavors.
Yeah.
If this counts as a story, I can put one of those together. But no, yeah, I mean, I almost said the Star Fox movie. It was the Galaxy movie that I was like, oh yeah, Star Fox. I have a lot of affection for Star Fox, and like, I went and played through the first level of the original on Super Nintendo, and like. And I was like, man, by the way, just as an aside, it's like, what would be a cool project is just this game with a frame rate that's like double digits. Like that would be fantastic,
Yes, I need more remakes and remasters that do nothing but put it at 60 frames. That's all I need. I don't need anything
I would
else.
love to see that game. But I mean, the big one for me was like, I was thinking through it and I was like, well, is in the movie, is that Star Fox? He seems not quite like the character that I've known from the handful of games I've played. And I was like, well, the one that I would assume he's the most characterized in is Star Fox Adventures.
Of course.
I think that's the one where he's probably talking the most and stuff. And I have dabbled with Star Fox Adventures, but like I had never started it with the intent to like finish it. And that's kind of what I've been doing. And I admit I have sort of fallen off after about like 8 hours or something like that because I've gotten distracted by new games. But yeah, I booted up Star Fox Adventures, and what a weird thing that game is, like
So
knowing
strange.
its story, because it was like it started as Dinosaur Planet on the N64, which is such a familiar like Star Fox story of like I started on one platform and then I got moved over to another one, or I got shifted around, Star Fox 2 to Star Fox 64. And like, yeah, I mean, the game starts and you're like, you're like on a pirate ship in the sky with like a blue fox lady crystal, and and then Fox shows up later, and it's like it's just a strange game. Is this what are these reactions?
It's just Leo and I are familiar with Crystal, is all I gotta say.
Yeah,
excuse me.
yeah.
We've
We're nodding
bonded.
along.
We share
We all have the same
links.
memories.
She just disappears, by the way.
Is this Pew Pew Bang? What's going on?
So is it like, are you getting the personality from Star Fox in this?
Mostly his personality is just that he's kind of annoyed that he's babysitting like a little baby dinosaur. Like that's just kind of his like, I got to do this. And I'm like a little bit like, yeah, I kind of feel a little similarly here, Fox.
Is he cocky on Dinosaur
Not
Planet?
real. No,
Okay.
that's the thing. That's in the movie. He's very cocky, but I was
Yeah.
like, that's not really like something I attribute to him in any sort of story version of Star Fox. I feel like he's always just kind of the leader guy. He's kind of just like a Captain America to the point of being a little bland. You know?
Right.
But the game's interesting because it's like, it reminds me of Cameo Elements of Power, just in its like sort of like tone and the way characters move and stuff like that. But it is much more like directed, where Cameo is like this weird, like they're trying to kind of have an open world right at the launch of the Xbox 360, and like there's like a lot of puzzling and stuff. Like it's closer to Zelda. It's kind of feels like Beyond Good and Evil more than I thought it would. It's certainly not bad, but it doesn't feel like this like classic that I missed. It's like this part of Star Fox canon that like, oh no, you guys, yeah, we've all played Star Fox 64, but Star Fox Adventures is the one that you guys are missing out. It's like it's not quite that. You do move between planets, and then you get to do a little bit of R-wing combat.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
It really feels so like someone was like, oh, hey, by the way, we do have to have space combat in here because it's Star Fox. Like, let's make sure we don't forget that. And then at the last second, they're like, oh crap, yeah, let's add that in there.
Yeah.
And then talking with Nick for our spoiled, it prompted me to go back to Assault on the GameCube as well.
Okay, by the way, we need to pause Kyle where he's at. This is the show called Max Spoilers. It's been called Max Spoiler for 6.5 years, not Spoiled, which is the name of the Game Informer spoiler cast that Kyle still does not.
Okay.
You've
I don't
called
think
it
I've ever made that
Spoiled 400,000 times. And he's talking about Nick Stefanacci, who's the production assistant at MinnMax, who's a big
Star Fox fan number one.
Yeah, we talked all about it on that Max Spoilers. But anyways, Star Fox Assault, Kyle, is everything Star Fox fans want.
For the first level, yeah.
Okay.
Like we talked about on the Max Spoilers, where it was like the first level is really good because it's like classic Star Fox. You're in space, you're shooting stuff in the R-wing, and then you actually go down to a planet. Like you don't like leave the level and then go down to the planet. It's like there's a cutscene like separating the two levels, but it's like it's continuous, and then you have like a traditional like Star Fox boss fight, and it really, I had the same experience I had when I played it back when it came out, where I was like, oh, this is cool. This is a great Star Fox 64 sequel. Let's go. Let's do this. It's like we're getting some characters in here. Like Falco's gone. Where did he go? Crystal's like part of the team now. There's like a little bit of a story here that I want to know more about, but it really falls apart so fast. That second level, you're on your feet again with like, Fox running around with a gun, and like it does have vibes of Leo. I think it's a game that you like, where you're the game where you fight the giant ants, Earth Defense Force. It has real Earth Defense Force vibes. Just in like your character, Fox moves way too fast. He feels like it's strangely sprinting around. You are fighting like bugs. Like that's the weird twist of this game, is like Andros is out of the picture and then like it's bugs, and you're like, oh, okay, thanks, I guess. It's not really what I was looking for here, but it's a strange. Star Fox is weird because like I love the original. I love Star Fox 64. And I've always wanted more from the series. It has never like met its potential in a strange way. And maybe that's like too much of me, like just wanting something that's not there. But there's a world, there's like an interesting world where you play as like an anthropomorphic animal who's like a mercenary in a very cool spaceship. And it's like, there's something cool here that never quite happens.
What's your dream version of it?
I think there's maybe. Did someone have a question about this? Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
because I was thinking about
here it
this.
is. So we got of course, Gio Benoji just rip open this letter early. They say, what would a Breath of the Wild gameplay shakeup look like for Star Fox as a series? How would you actually shake it up?
I mean, the thing that I would want is like I don't want to fall into the trap of being like, I just want Star Fox 64 again. But like what I do want is like, I want to be able to fly an R-Wing through a solar system and go planet to planet. Like, and I like the structure of like a story of like, you have to get from this planet to that planet. And like, you're going to have to give me some excuse for why Fox has to stop at all the planets. I don't know why he just doesn't go around the planets on his way. Like he always like touches down. It's like, why are we here? Why did you go to Corneria? Just go to the end. But like the sort of the idea of like, I want to get out of the ship a little bit, but not too much. But like the idea of like hopping in an R-Wing and like leaving the atmosphere, No Man's Sky style, and going to your ship where you can land and you can talk to your teammates and stuff like that. And maybe you just approach it like a truly like you're a mercenary, like you're just picking up jobs, right? And you have to like, you can literally travel through space, and it's like a big open solar system. Not too big. I don't want No Man's Sky, but like that's what I want. I just want to like be the Star Fox crew in space.
Isn't that
and then
Starlink
like, and
Battle
then
for
like
Atlas?
later you can bring in like some incentive of like, oh, Andros is back and your ghost of your dad is here, and there is like a story there. But like I just kind of want to like be in the Star Fox crew. Like that's my dream Star Fox game.
Isn't that the Starlink Battle for Atlas though?
I don't know. I only played a little bit of that game.
I mean, if you're continuing this trend of just trying to scratch at Star Fox, like that does seem like that is what you have to do next.
I'm ready to go. Let's do it. I'm ready to
Whoa.
go.
You have your toys coming to life?
That's right. But yeah, man, but that's like another instance of like Star Fox Adventure of Fox just getting wedged into something that wasn't designed around him, really. Like what I played of that game, although he was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Like he is secondary, right? He's not like the main plot of that game. He's just like a cool extensive cameo. It's almost like Dead Cell's Castlevania stuff, It's like, whoa, wow, they really love Castlevania, but this is still a Dead Cells game,
Yeah. We had somebody write in last week about like, hey, if you want like a 2D animated version of Star Fox, like they released like a whole 10-minute 2D animated sequence when Star Fox Zero came out. Was that kind of scratching that narrative itch for you? Because I completely forgot about that weird whole thing.
I remember that, and that was one of the reasons Zero was disappointing, is because that animation was cool. And I was like, all right, like this is like we're sort of really considering these characters. And then Zero was just kind of a dud. I just really remember very little from it. I played it and beat it, but it just like, it certainly didn't like hit any sort of narrative notes that were interesting. And then the gameplay was kind of strange and uncomfortable, sort of like a Kid Icarus situation,
Just physically with the gamepad, like what they actually
literally,
wanted you to do.
I remember being at E3 and they're being like, well, this is how you play it. You hold it up in front of you like this, And yeah, no, your arm's getting sort of tired over the course of that's like part of the experience, you know? Like,
That's it, baby. Yeah, I am curious. Like, so there are rumors that they're making a new Star Fox game inspired by 64. Very curious to see how 64ish it can be. How many times can we go back to that well? We've done it so many times.
Yeah.
You know, will it be a new take on Star Fox Guard? Technically, the last Star Fox game that came out on the Wii U, right? Like the weird.
Because it was packaged with Zero, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Which I think I only played that. I don't think I played Star Fox Zero, but like
that
I played
does
it.
Sound like a Ben Hansen thing to do.
And it was actually really good. But no, I'm just curious, like, who's going to make it? Like, is it going to be Nintendo internally? Because like Zero was made by Platinum, and then Assault was made by Bandai Namco. But like, I could see, because Nintendo's doing so much stuff with Bandai Namco recently, I could see them tackling the next Star Fox again.
And maybe Ubisoft. I mean, maybe that's what, you know, I don't know what happened to the Starlink team. Like, what is that? I mean, that game was not a hit, right? I mean,
yeah, I forget if that was Montpellier. I forget which team was actually making that. But you know, when you talk about
it does feel like, in the Dead Cells example, right? Like, it does feel like the kind of thing where like I could see Nintendo being like, "Do you guys just want to do Star Fox? Like, do you want to just like make a Star Fox game?" But gosh, that was what, 8 years ago or something like that?
It was a while ago, yeah. But I would feel good about that. I think that'd be sweet. Have you looked into speaking of just smooth running old Super Nintendo stuff? Have you looked into Wild Blue Skies at all?
No, I mean, yes, I've looked into it. I have not played it. Then I have on my Steam Deck the other one that came out recently that was very Star Fox inspired. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I forget what the name of that last one was. Yeah, but So Wild Blue Skies, it's not out yet.
It looks cool.
Yeah, but it's from Chuhai Labs, so it's like one of the co-creators of Star Fox, and it is just as Star Fox inspired as you can get, like SNES era Star Fox gameplay and stuff. And they say it's coming out in 2026, so I think it's one to keep an eye on.
And then Fur Squadron Phoenix is the other one that is out.
Okay.
Which I have downloaded on my Steam Deck, but I have not started. Yeah.
Okay.
So the furry thing is really inseparable from what makes these games special.
It's required.
It is kind of part and parcel. It's kind of the whole kit and caboodle, yeah.
That's cool.
All right, so become a furry. Check out Star Fox today. I mean,
a puppet. It's a puppet, you guys.
Have some respect. It's a puppet, everybody.
The way you use it.
Come on now.
Hey, Kelsey Lewin, do you know how this whole thing operates?
You know, I was hoping it wasn't puppets, but I'm beginning to think it might be.
It's puppets. And you're all our little puppets for typing into your favorite browser, patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Go there, find a tier that's right for you. We greatly appreciate it. Find something that's sustainable. Find some benefits that make sense for you. If you want the early ad-free access version of this podcast, the extended version of Pew Pew Bang, bonus pod each and every week, podcast version of our interviews, max spoilers and more, jump into that $5 tier, but find a tier that works for you. And shout out to, of course, I Am 8-Bit. They have a wonderful online store overflowing with so many wonderful things, and you can use the promo code FIREFLOWERS for 10% off of everything under $100, not including Atlas stuff, such as the Persona 5 Tactica vinyl soundtrack that they have in their sweet online store. But that vinyl soundtrack is up and available in addition to a bunch of other Atlas soundtracks and just amazing video game soundtracks overall. They just sent me like the joystick, what is it called? Blue Shift Band. It's just basically jazz takes on video game music, but I was listening to it last night. It's so good. Here's just like 7 minutes of jazzy riffing on the Pallet Town theme. It's fantastic. And so you will find something great in iam8bit's wonderful online store and use that promo code FIREFLOWERS. And please help support iam8bit because they support the MinnMax community in a big bad way by shipping in a prize each and every week. This week, whoever's the best question submitted over there on Patreon wins the Conker's Bad Fur Day vinyl soundtrack. Speaking of the N64 and pivotal soundtracks, you can get that soundtrack on vinyl thanks to iam8bit. And so look alive. We got to remember who submitted the best question. They win that wonderful prize. Should we get to these sweet questions?
Yeah. I'm getting comfy.
Ooh. Jay Vaso writes in, they say, I'd like to fill a massive void left in last week's 25 games you need to play list, which egregiously left out Sonic the Hedgehog, one of gaming's most important icons. So here's the new list of 25 games you must play. Number 1, Sonic Adventure. Number 2, Sonic Adventure 2. Then Sonic the Hedgehog. Then Sonic 2. Then Sonic 3. Then Sonic Heroes. Then Sonic Unleashed. Sonic CD. Sonic Riders. Shadow the Hedgehog. Sonic Generation. Sonic Forces. Generations, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, Sonic Frontier, Sonic Colors, Sonic Freeriders, Sonic Advance, Sonic Rush, Sonic Mania, Sonic R, Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, Sonic Rivals, Sonic Racing Transform, Sonic and the Black Knight, and then number 25 is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where you play as Sonic.
Did they leave out Sonic Battle?
Yeah, Sonic Battle is not on this list. I'm sorry, Kelsey.
Okay, well then throw the whole list out.
Yeah, Jay Vaso,
Also,
sit down before you fall down.
Well, let's get rid of Generations and get Dark Brotherhood in there. You know, let's suggest swaps here.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, he really left out a lot of good Sonic for being such a big freaking Sonic fan.
A Sonic game on that list is important though, because otherwise you won't know what's going on in the movies.
That's a very good point. Have you lost any sleep about that list from last week, Kelsey?
I mean, I was following the conversations in our Discord a little bit.
Yeah.
There were a couple of good points, I think, but I still feel, there were a couple things that wouldn't have been on my personal list, but it was a group list. So I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you feel like anything was egregious?
No,
I feel a little bad about kicking off the cancer game, but
no, that's the only thing I fully stand behind. I'm trying to get cancer off of Earth forever, personally. No, but I was thinking about Slay the Spire seems like that probably should have been on there. Some form of that. Yeah, sure.
Counts.
Yeah, you know what? Hades is better. And then the other one was like Tony Hawk. I'm like, yeah, it would have been probably cool.
Tony Hawk was because I was thinking about it. Should there have been a sports game on the list? And I think no, unless it's Tony Hawk, because sports games have always just been trying to be the sport. Like they're not really. I mean, other than maybe sports management games, which maybe could, I don't know. There could be a discussion there. But
NBA Jam, maybe, something like that.
And I was thinking more about it too, just in terms of I think a cleaner argument and something that I was kind of inching into during that discussion last week, and I was like, I didn't frame it this way initially, and I should have thought of it, is the games you need to play to be like a well-rounded gamer. Might have been a better way, because I think the whole test tube thing got confusing about well, this person, they're new out of a test tube, so they can't handle Hollow Knight. And it's well, that's not literally handing it to a baby. And so I think that would have been better framing. But you know what?
I still think that Hollow Knight you don't have to play to be well-rounded. I think you just have to play a Metroidvania. Yeah, like a solid one. So I think that's a good framing.
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right, let's run it back.
I read a lot of YouTube comments talking about Mega Man X should have been there.
I didn't see a single one. That's funny because I noticed them, but they seem to be deleted very quickly whenever somebody said we did.
Even after I commented thank you on every single one.
I stand behind the immediate dismissal of Mega Man.
Look, good game. Plenty of good games not on that
totally.
list. Yeah, come on, let's be real. Luca Alberti says, "Hello, folks. Is the prospect of an Ocarina of Time remake enticing to you? Would you prefer to see a faithful remake or one that expands Hyrule and blends in more modern elements?" So rumors rumbling about an Ocarina of Time remake in the same vein, thanks to Nate the Hate on a podcast. He's talking about this and the Star Fox rumors as well. And Kyle, I want to hear your thoughts, but I was thinking about it and that'd be kind of fun. Ocarina of Time, probably it's time to overhaul it in some way. And then this stupid forum thread lit my imagination on fire where someone's like, hey, Monolith, Xenoblade team, they just overhauled their website with a much more thorough breakdown of their involvement in every Zelda game recently, like how they contributed to Link Between Worlds and stuff. And then that just spun me out about thinking if Monolith rebuilt Ocarina of Time from the ground up, that sounds like the coolest project that could exist. Just take all their lessons from all their games, all the Xenoblade games, then just overhaul that thing entirely and just make it something new. I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah, it's interesting because for years and years and years, it's always been, which Ocarina of Time, I always say it is my number one favorite game of all time, which won't change. But whenever it's we need an Ocarina of Time remake, my response has always been, they did on 3DS and it was really good. And I love that version of that game, So when with these rumors kind of going around, I admit that it's not lighting my brain on fire. It's not one that I'm I really want to see this. There's other Zeldas I would much rather they remake, or readdress. I would love to see the first two sort of modernized and remade, especially two.
I think two is an interesting example. Yeah.
But that being said, because I feel like there is a great sort of I don't know, good looking version of Ocarina of Time that does exist, which I would love to see on Switch, right? The 3DS version. I do think about it in the sense of like, I was thinking like when you get really invested into Final Fantasy VII Remake and how excited you get about that, and I see you sort of like talk about it with, you know, on the Max spoilers for hours and hours about like, what does this mean? Like what does this mean in relation to the original game? And we like to make fun of you because it's so excessive. And I often think like, what game would
we get mean?
There's a whole freaking secret Slack channel about it, bro.
Right. And I think like, what is the game that would do that to me?
Yeah.
And I do think it is Ocarina of Time, even though it's like not a game that's really story heavy in the way that would benefit like.
Well, that's
7,
funny because
right?
you're like, yeah, the idea of a remake of this game is pretty ho-hum for me. But I guess the thing I would care about most in the universe is the thing that I'm ho-hum about.
like that's I'm talking in a circle. I admit,
yeah.
like right, like I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it, like in real time on this podcast.
Sure.
Because like what I'm saying is like if they manage to sort of re-examine Ocarina of Time in the way that Square Enix has re-examined Final Fantasy VII, I think that would be exciting. Like if they sort of really were bold enough to change things and make things different, right?
So is it just like you don't really care if they just have another one and it looks prettier? It's like they would have to meaningfully dive in and change some stuff.
Right. And I suspect that like I don't think Nintendo is brave enough to do that with Ocarina of Time in the way that Square Enix is kind of like, you know, flipping over the table for Final Fantasy VII, which I think is like, as much as I know we like to sort of pretend we hate Final Fantasy VII Remake, I think it's a good game. But yeah, so I don't know. And it's like, I don't want an Ocarina of Time that's been Breath of the Wilded. You know, I don't really want to be able to climb every surface in an Ocarina of Time. I would like, I mean, this is such a small thing, but I would like it to be like a more consistent transition between the areas, if that makes sense. Like I would like it to feel more open, which is like, that was the sort of a magical thing about it on N64 is it did feel open, but also maintained like loading screens between sections and stuff like that. Like I like the idea of like, you know, being able to see like Hylia from Death Mountain and stuff like that, and having a real sense that I can like go straight there. Like that kind of stuff is cool, but like I just like, as much as I will absolutely replay it and have a good time. I just worry that it's going to be like, mainly we're not changing a lot and it's going to look really good, you know, or maybe have sort of a new art style.
What does this do for you? At any moment, snap instant switch between time periods and ages, like Alan Wake 2. You snap right into the new world.
See, that's cool. Like that's an interesting idea, right? Because like they like you do have to sort of go somewhere and switch, and then, like if you want to see how things change like back and forth.
That's good.
No more.
That's good.
No more.
That's
yeah,
good.
I mean that's an interesting idea. That's the kind of thing that I don't think Nintendo would do, really. I would love to be wrong. I would love to see a remake of Ocarina of Time really try to like mess with Ocarina of Time. Like feel free to mess with Ocarina of Time.
Here's what it is. Here's the Final Fantasy VII remake version of it, and I'm building on Leo's idea. What if it's like switch between, you know, Kid Link, Adult Link, also 2 more time eras, and the eras are
Teen.
That's right, an old wrinkly man. No, but the eras are 98 Ocarina of Time Kid, adult 98 Ocarina of Time Kid. So it's like a remade game from the ground up with like new storyline, new everything.
Yeah.
But then you're also traveling with the knowledge of the current world into the retro game.
Yeah. See, this is the rabbit hole that Zelda fans fall into, though. Like, you remember the build-up to Tears of the Kingdom? Like, so many people were like, this is what's going to be, this is what it means. And it's like, they get so ahead of themselves. And even at the time, I was like, guys, it's not, they don't think about this element of the game as much as you do. They don't. Like, this is more, it's like about how it feels and the reward of solving puzzles and having fun doing combat. They don't really think about it in the context of like, what did this game mean to your childhood? You know, like how did this influence you as a you know, a middle schooler growing up, and how did that affect your life? Which I would argue like 7 Rebirth kind of is like thinking about at least of like what is the legacy of this thing. Like I don't think that's what this remake's going to be. I as much as I would love it to be, I just don't think that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, but imagine everybody get your hypes really, really high. Just imagine.
Yeah,
they're going to do it in Unreal.
In Breath of the Wild, like it is cannot like it, there is like Zelda canon is so weird, but there's like a version where Ocarina of Time does take place in the world of Breath of the Wild, right?
That'd be cool. Tie into that. Yeah,
and it's like I would love for them to embrace that and like acknowledge it and do something interesting with it. And like there is a wider franchise question about where Ocarina of Time created a three-way split in the timeline that they like retroactively canonized in like in books and things like that. And it's like, well, why don't you like really think about what that means for the Zelda franchise, where Ocarina of Time was this breaking point that led to like one version became Wind Waker, one version became Twilight Princess. Is like there is really amazing stuff in there that Nintendo is just they're not gonna take advantage of. I really don't think they're going to take advantage of it. Because they want these games to be singular experiences. You know what I mean? Like they want, even Tears of the Kingdom, they want you to be able to play that game from start to finish without any prior knowledge of the previous game and have a beginning, middle, and end full experience. And I think if they really try to think about like, well, like if you take this path, you can see what became Twilight Princess. And if you take this path, you can see what became Wind Waker. It's like, well, then that relies on too much previous knowledge. You know?
Yeah, I am curious just on the meats and potatoes of the whole thing. Like, who's developing it? Like, my first thought is it's going to be Grezzo, who made the Ocarina of Time 3D, and they did Echoes of Wisdom then, you know. But that was 2024. It's like, could they spin up in time to release a new Ocarina of Time, or is it going to be? I don't think it's going to be the mainline team. Is it going to be some Omega Force team that's coming in and making this thing? You know, since they tease that that's connected to the future of Zelda.
Like maybe it's Luigi's Mansion team or something like a genuine, like they bought that studio all those years ago and we don't know what they're doing, right?
Oh, for the next God, why am I blanking? The Vancouver studio. Yeah,
like maybe it's someone who we just don't. It's not even someone would be like, oh, of course they're going to make a Zelda game. It's some team that they're just like has been sort of quietly toiling away at this thing, if it exists, right? It's all strong rumor at this point.
Yeah,
but
Next Level Games is the name of that studio up there in Vancouver.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Tricky. But it's thinking about just Nintendo's perception of stuff versus the fans and stuff. Like I remember, Kelsey, when we did that episode of the podcast that was about the mind of Miyamoto. Remember years ago with Chris Kohler and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And in that, I was digging up like old Miyamoto quotes, and he talked about like, well, obviously, Ocarina of Time is the story of, and his explanation of the story of Ocarina of Time was just, it's the story of meeting 4 women and how they change your life. It's like,
I remember when I met 4 women.
Sure. Binders full of them, and boy,
so
did they change.
Yeah, okay, Sheik and Rito and Zelda. Who's the fourth?
No one knows. Hey, Gabe Honeycutt writes in.
Your mommy buying it for you.
Get him, Leo. Anyways, Gabe Honeycutt writes in. They say him and
Mommy
Max.
havers.
I was skeptical of the Switch 2 Joy-Con's mouse controls when they were revealed, since I wasn't sure how comfortable or useful they would be. But Pokemon Pokopia has made me a believer with its implementation, which got me wondering, what console or gimmick has pleasantly surprised you the most in gaming? I love that. Have you heard of a lot of people using the mouse?
I haven't tried Pokopia with the mouse control. I guess I need to try that.
There's a Kotaku headline that was kind of like, playing with a mouse is the way to play Pokopia, which I was like,
interesting. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. I've been playing it with an electric mouse.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
There are mice in the world of Pokemon.
It's unclear. Hey, but what gimmicks have worked well?
This is a silly one, but I freaking love the stupid GameCube bongos. Those are great.
Oh, okay.
Those work great. The Donkey Konga games, one of the best rhythm games. And it's just like, obviously we've done a lot of plastic instruments in life, and those have all have, a lot of success, but the bongos, just real simple gimmick that I got a lot out of.
That's good. Thinking about, what Xbox can do with their next system to try and turn any heads. What if it was just like, hey, we own this we're packing in a Guitar Hero controller in every console. Just trying something radical for like, if you buy this thing, you will feel different.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, why not, right?
I'll take it. Why not?
Yeah, the guitar one's interesting because like I I played in a band in high school and college and stuff. So like I was friends with a lot of like really talented guitarists. My dad's like an amazing guitarist as well. So like I just like I'm always surrounded by people who really are amazing at guitar. It just did not rub off on me, sadly. But so like when that was sort of started becoming popular, like, you know, everyone, all the people I hung out with were like, that's stupid. Like I'm just gonna play real guitar, you know? And I was like, yeah, you guys are right. Screw this. And then like I played it and I was like, oh no, this is very fun. You know, this works really well.
It's going to change society. And that's why the bongo
it's going to come with every Xbox in the future.
But that's why there was a whole resurgence in bongo players as well around like 2003, whenever that was released. Just bongo.
People don't know this. A lot of your favorite bongo players got their start in that game.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
The guy from Oppenheimer in the background.
That's right. That's right.
I would go Wiimote microphone.
Microphone?
Oh.
At least because it meshed with the goofiness of the games on that console. The WarioWare, set it down, it rings, you pick it up, you get a little voice in your ear from the phone.
Yeah, there was like a layer of removal from that. And I know some people are out of their minds and they enjoy it, like on the PS5 controller. I turned that crap off so fast because it's not
Wait, about
immersive.
Speaker or microphone? Are we talking about two different things here?
Oh, sorry, yeah, I meant speaker.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Microphone on the Wii U, though, Leo's also a huge fan of, I believe.
Well, there was a little microphone accessory
mic.
for the Wii, and you could get a bundle with Animal Crossing and use the microphone to talk to people in your Animal Crossing.
The Wii Speak.
Who are visiting you. Yeah, Wii Speak.
That was kind of like the same idea as like with the Switch 2. You know, that idea of like, hey, we have a microphone, but it's going to be like 10 feet away from you over by the TV, and we'll just hope that it works well. And with Wii Speak, it was a disaster, but now it's like, oh, it kind of works. I've never actually
used it all the time. I know I was certainly in the minority, but I got a lot of use out of Wii Speak.
So you were like talking to your friends in City Folk?
Yeah.
Did it sound like ass?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But like, it's like, you know, it was like the mid-2000s. Who cares?
It was like transcribing your text, like when you were writing characters' letters or something?
No, it's just a microphone.
Oh. You're overthinking it, dude. It's just a really
sorry. Not with the actual Animal Crossing characters, with your other real human friends who are visiting your town.
Okay, I got it. I see. Okay.
So, Kyle, some games, they allow you to play with other real people in like a multiplayer-esque environment.
No, we do not have the technology for that. Are you insane?
Fancy Graham writes in about it. They say there's a thing called a multiplayer shooter. And they wonder, is it in a multiplayer shooter's best interest to purposefully have a gun or character that is broken at launch and then nerf it later? Like how Bastion was insanely overpowered in Overwatch's early days. That way, people can have those I was there moments. That's fun. Launching a game.
When they do a seasonal event that says we throw it back to this balance level, and people are like excited about that.
Right. It is the idea of launching a game, just preparing for like 7 years from now, people are going to be really nostalgic over this right here. It's a level of confidence I cannot imagine.
Yeah. The pistol in Halo 1 kind of situation.
Right. But you know what? I mean, is there a world where I would not be as into Halo 1's multiplayer without that pistol? It's like, probably. That was probably like a defining imbalance for my enjoyment of that game. It was like that three shot is so satisfying.
I mean, at this point, you got to try anything with a shooter, right? Like it's like you got to do something to get people to sort of take notice initially.
Guitar Hero.
Oh,
wait, no, I guess they
put it in Fortnite.
Yeah, it was in Fortnite. It did not work. Damn it.
Rainbow Six Siege had a bit of an epidemic of new operators being overpowered, and it's like the way they monetize that game is you get early access to the new operator if you're paying the most money, so you get the most time with them in their busted state. Like they're financially incentivized to do that, and they haven't like, it's not a reliable thing that they always do. I think they've gotten a lot better at it, but it is weird to think about the structure being, what is the downside for them? On a grander scale, people lose faith in the game maybe, but immediately people will be buying it. You can sell the thing that's broken.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I'm guessing most of the time it is genuinely a place of like launching with the wild imbalance of just like, they don't know. And it's a little bit of like, you know what? We're going to patch the hell out of this. Let's just see how it goes. You know, I don't think they're, losing sleep over the idea of like this thing isn't perfectly balanced at launch, because like it is kind of just an incentive to like, let's communicate, let's track what the audience is doing and kind of bounce off it. But I do like it.
That's kind of a Sakurai design ethos, right? Is like you can't perfection and balance is impossible, and there is fun in imbalance, right? Did he say something along those lines when it came to Smash Brothers? He's like, yeah, I could tweak these numbers till they get like, everyone's doing the same amount of damage, but like it's fun if, like that's what leads to fun is like there's some things that are stronger than other things and some things that are like maybe you can sort of exploit on your own. Like you have to find the line of like what is still fun and engaging without, everyone just uses this one character because you can't even use anybody else,
Yeah.
Right. It definitely depends on the game, too. Like, Siege or the Finals has such counterplay that, everybody's picking this one thing. I will pick the thing that is absolutely a counter to it. Like, those things still exist, and you can feel smart and like you're making your own way through a specific meta before it levels out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think people do, like, it does draw attention to the game. People like, I want to go in and use that and win.
Right.
I'll re-download.
Yeah, it works. Kyle, I was thinking about the Mario Galaxy movie again, because I can't stop thinking about it. Did you see it, Leo, by chance?
It had an effect on you.
It impacted me.
Inspired you.
Emotionally. I really enjoyed on Bonus Pod, Jacob Geller and Haley McLean kind of leaned into a little bit more and being a little more ruthless in some ways, but Haley seemed to have a good time. Yeah. So, well, Jacob, he brought up his main critique again about just why is Mario so mean? It's like, yeah, it is odd. It's a good reminder of like, that is a weird character trait.
Star Fox is cocky. Mario is mean in those
right. And Peach
Yeah,
kills.
is that like, they didn't like write this for Chris Pratt, right?
Just because they think he's mean? Is that your theory?
He's a divisive character. We'll put it that way.
He is a piece of green melon these days. He is just like the blandest, like. We don't need to open this can of worms. So watching old Parks and Rec with my daughter recently and watching contemporary interviews with Chris Pratt, I'm like, what happened?
I feel like, I would never have sympathy towards actors. However, just seeing like all these YouTube videos pop up in my feed about just like glimpses of every interview these actors have had to do for the Mario Galaxy movie, it just seems miserable. I think your brain would never recover if you had to do as many of these interviews as they do, where everyone's like, pop quiz, what was Mario's original name? Waka waka. It's just like everyone trying to have some wacky fun angle and them trying to be enthusiastic about like, Mario jumps, Yoshi, he's fun. I love these games back then. You lose your mind.
Do you think the cast has spent more time doing interviews promoting the movie than they did recording the lines?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
That's
absolutely
wild.
Crazy.
That's art.
It has to be.
I think they did with one interview. Like, I don't think it's like, and this is not me disparaging their performance. I actually think there's a lot of fun performances from those actors. But like, if the movie's 90 minutes and Peach is in a third of it, like,
yeah. And they redid the lines, I'm sure, at a certain point and brought her back in for different drafts and stuff in theory. But yeah, I really think it's just, God, what do you think?
That's the job, right? It's like,
yeah.
It's like, hey, the job we're signing up for you, paying you for is to promote the Mario movie. And by the way, you can also be in it if you'd like, if you're interested.
Yeah, right. Optional.
I mean, I think that case in point, honestly, not to get too, I don't know, in the weeds and the business of it, but like, why else get Donald Glover to be Yoshi? It's not like he's doing that voice better than anybody else. It's because they want him on the publicity trail. Like, it's so obvious. It's right there,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I feel like with these casts, we're just moving more and more in the direction of just plucking one person from each demographic, including like we will get one TikTok influencer, we will get one kindly woman from QVC everyone likes.
Man.
We'll just have one person for everybody on Earth.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's where we're going to be, absolutely. Oh, but anyways, I was thinking about that Mario Galaxy movie because it is a fascinating object. Just to try and sound smart about seeing.
We're so glad it exists.
I'm just so glad. Actually, that one's maybe debatable. No, but I was thinking about that idea of like, going in, I was, really drinking the Kool-Aid of like, we're building towards Smash Brothers. Of course, we're building towards Smash Brothers. And, light spoilers for the Mario Galaxy movie, they inch in that direction, but it's not like the post-credit scene is, oh my God, here's the Smash invite letter and stuff. And just thinking more about it, it's like, why would that be? Why would Miyamoto, as the executive producer, have like his accomplishment of all accomplishments being Mario and the Mario universe? Why would he see it as, and it's all a stepping stone to this project from Sakurai, another creator? Like, he wouldn't want to frame Mario as like step one of anything, Like, it's just not the perspective they're going to have.
But I could see it
makes you
being
wonder why
the plot
you
is built
got-
around a fighting tournament.
I mean, they kind of have that with the Lumas. I guess they kind of have their fighting tournament in this, and they kind of recreate the fight from the first movie.
Spoilers!
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Kyle, you had thoughts?
I was making fun of you and saying it makes you wonder why you sort of thought that was going to happen to begin with.
Because it's just, if they're saying, hey, Star Fox is in this, like, it seems like they're just going to add more and more till eventually we're getting to peak excitement. But it's like, of course, Miyamoto doesn't see it that way. Smash Brothers is a step down, man.
It's because the world is Smash Brothers.
Oh,
Crossovers,
Earthbound situation.
That's just the framework we have.
Yeah. You doing that thing about Earthbound, Leo? Have you ever heard that? Kelsey, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't it like the creator said like Earthbound 4 or Mother 4? That's your life. You're living Mother 4 right now. Wasn't there something like that?
That sounds like a very toy thing to say, so
like
I
that,
believe it.
But Daniel,
That's awesome.
they say, Daniel writes in, they say, what's the least valuable game in your collection? Everyone loves to tout the most rare or expensive video game they own, but what's the game in your collection that you prize for its personal meaning to you, but has no monetary or little cultural value?
This is such a fun question. I wish I was trying to get all of my stuff like actually in a list so I could genuinely determine what the cheapest one is. But
Yeah.
There's an Xbox 360 game that used the camera called You're in the Movies.
Yes.
that's a
which
good one.
I have a lot of like affection for that really janky, messed up game, and we played it on replay like multiple
It was
times
really
at Game
fun,
Informer, and
yeah.
they were like fun episodes. And I looked it up on eBay; it's $2.99, and I actually like once like went to go put it in a box to like donate it, like to give it to Goodwill as I was like clearing out the sort of collection and thing, and I was like, I can't do it. I cannot get rid of this thing. It's like it's not fun. It's like broken, but it's broken in a way that's weird. It would be a good like New Show Plus. Is like
Yeah.
let's just play You're in the Movies, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah.
So that might be mine. That's like not worth anything, but is important to me, you know?
I think that's good.
I've got a couple that I showed off on Pew Pew Bang, which I can go grab in a sec, but they are like map programs for the PSP. And they are fairly worthless now because you're not going to be, GPSing with your PSP in Japan. And I think I got them for like $2 a piece. Let me go grab one.
That's a fun one because it's like weird and unique, but it's like completely useless, basically, right? There's like you can't do it. It's like the web browser for the DS, probably, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
here's my
Map
Map Plus games, these Japanese
great.
PSP GPS games. And yeah, I paid $2 for this one.
That's good to have.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a
It's
good
great.
talker. Yeah, mine is
Nice.
like it's the obvious with like sports games. I feel like any sports games I own on like PS2
Yeah.
or PS3, I'm like, all right, let her rip. It's no good. And so I was looking at like my collection downstairs. It's like NBA 2K2, the Sega game on PS2. I looked it up. I guess it's $10 on eBay is what it's going for, which is more than I thought it would. I'm sure at GameStop it'd be 49 cents or something. But that game meant a lot to me because I used to work at a grocery store back in my hometown, and they were throwing it away.
Egg?
Yeah. And so I remember like seeing it in the garbage. I'm like, you're throwing away a PlayStation 2 game? And they had like a whole rental area. And like, yeah, somebody said it didn't work. I was like, joke's on them. And so I grabbed it. And I don't know if I ever played it, but then just now I like opened it up and looked at the back of the disc. Just as nasty as you can get. It's like a Wolverine attacked it. It's like, why did I think that this would even work? Of course it doesn't, but it means a lot to me.
Yeah, but you can get it resurfaced for like $3.
Ooh,
And then
who's
maybe it
laughing?
will work again, and then you're only in the hole like a little bit of money on it.
This is perfect. But I guess technically there's maybe, other than like hand-me-downs of like Apple II games for my neighbors and stuff, like I guess that was kind of like my first free game, I guess, right? I was like, hey, finding this. Or, similar thing, I once found a copy of New Super
I
Mario
know what you're
Brothers
saying.
2 on 3DS. It was just like laying on a sidewalk outside. And so
Nice.
that meant a lot to me, It's like probably not the most valuable thing, but it means more when you find it in a unique situation.
I have a question for the former Game Informers and current Game Informer, I guess, on the panel. How did you like get to keep the review games ever? And if so, do you still have your first review game?
It
Like the first free game given to you.
depends. You know what? My very pre-Game Informer, the first game that was ever sent to me early was Alan Wake, and I still have that copy. Even then, I was already getting codes at that point pretty quickly.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it was like, you'd have it on a debug unit, or you get like early codes and stuff for Game Informer. So it's like the retail wouldn't really be a factor as far as I remember, even like when you started a Game Informer. I don't think Kyle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's kind of before
there was a lot of occasions where like maybe we'd get like 2 copies of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, like physical, and we'd put one in the vault, and then we would roll dice to see like whoever got it. Because at that point the reviewer had already played it on debug or something like that. It wasn't. To answer your question, Kelsey, it wasn't really like you're reviewing this game. Here's your physical copy. Right.
Well, yeah, you would have gotten a I didn't even think about that. I mean, I've seen all that preview stuff. Believe it or not.
Leah, you got a goodie?
Super Paper Mario for the Wii.
Yeah.
Good game.
I have my friend Manton's copy who had the Calvin peeing on the Paramount Plus tattoo, so more Manton content this week.
Perfect.
This is the back of the actual jacket that was flipped inside out for some reason. And when he was like 14, 15, he made a new cover and back. Paper Mario. It's Mario saying hell yeah. And there's kind of the story and some images on the back.
That's amazing.
Explore in 1.5 dimensions. And on the bottom, it says, this game is rated S for sucks.
No, okay, come on. No, that's a solid game.
It's debatable. I want it to be better. By the way, can you ask him if it's okay? I put that tattoo in the supporter slideshow running every MinnMax video throughout the month. Just, you might want to make sure that's okay with him. There's no identifying information other than his tattoo. Travis and Fargo writes in, they say, the only series I've ever rewatched are Arrested Development and Gilmore Girls. What shows have you rewatched? And what does that say about you as a person? Oh, Travis, that's a good question. Yeah, the full rewatch. It is important to figure out.
Kind of a lot.
Yeah.
I love rewatching sitcoms. It's very comforting.
Sitcoms.
More comforting than a new sitcom to be watching an old classic one. Just finished my probably earnest count, maybe 8th full watch of 30 Rock just recently.
Oh, wow. Still discovering new things, forgetting a million jokes, I'd imagine, going through it.
Yeah, of course. Always more than I expect. And when I'm watching a sitcom now, it's kind of in that like, is this going in the Lifetime rotation? Is this up to the level?
Yeah.
And it's kind of rare. It's always thrilling when I discover something at that level. And Nirvana, the band, the show is at that level.
Oh, wow. That's nice to see.
Besides sitcoms, Hannibal is kind of the only one I still rewatch. I used to rewatch like Breaking Bad and Lost, but Hannibal's the one that keeps giving.
I was thinking about that idea of like, are there any dramas? Like, I think I've watched Mad Men twice. But it's weird how it's just like sitcoms, like absolutely. Like Larry Sanders I've gone through at least 2 times all the way through and stuff, but I was like, dramas, I don't know. Just, I don't want to do it. But somehow it's
I don't
soothing.
think I've ever rewatched a drama. I think it's pretty much just like, sitcoms and cartoons.
Yeah.
And what does that say about me?
We need comfort in our adult lives, I think. That's what it says about everybody.
I'm living in the Star Trek rabbit hole, but that, I don't know, that barely counts because it was like I watched a lot of Next Generation as a kid and like a handful of Deep Space Nine episodes, but now like in the last year or two, it's been like I've just like been actively watching them. It almost felt like for the first time. Generation was fun because I would have glimpses of things. It's like, oh, I remember this episode,
Yeah.
But Deep Space Nine is like fully new. I didn't really watch that when I was young.
I was just listening to Play, Watch, Listen, and Austin Wintory over there. He made a list of like the 80 episodes of Next Generation that everybody needs to watch, and like he boiled it down to like 80 or something ridiculous. But he was explaining it. Is there a situation where when people describe the plots of Next Generation episodes, they sound a lot better than they actually are? Because like the way people talk about some episodes, I'm like, how is this not amazing? But tell me if this also had an impact on you. But he's talking about there's an episode with like Worf and his son, and how he gives the son a choice at the end about like, do you want to come with me and live a hard life or go out and live, what is it, some peaceful life? What is it, Kyle? Lay it out.
I don't know the exact line, but I mean, yeah, he can either go home and live with Worf's human parents, or he can like live his, with Worf as a Starfleet officer, which is like a difficult life, or, go back to Klingon and try to become a Klingon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And he chooses the hard life.
I mean, yeah, no, there's like, truly, I mean, like, I don't want to get too deep into Star Trek here, but like as we're watching it, there's so often that I'm like, every story that I think is like cool in other media has been at least poked at by Star Trek in a weird way. Like even Severance recently, like a show that I adore, like a recent show. There was like a few episodes of Deep Space Nine that were like, oh, this is kind of that idea, you know? And it's like it was a really good. It continues, well, maybe not continues to be, but it was such a fantastic format for just like weird science fiction idea for an hour. Let's explore it at least a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, and then like. Yeah, it's really great. It really holds up so well. I it's been a real joy for me to like go back and watch Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine in particular has really surprised me and has probably become my favorite Star Trek, despite loving Next Generation as a kid.
Yeah, I think there's something about that kind
highly
of
recommend.
Like just sci-fi variety, you know, of like every episode's kind of tackling a new theme, new idea, and it can just so many things can be traced back to technically. You know, I think a lot of people bring up Twilight Zone in that same camp. And only a sliver are sci-fi episodes with Twilight Zone, but still like if you have over 100 episodes of just like bold, weird story ideas from the late 50s and 60s, like it's so easy to be like, oh, now you look back to that. They probably were inspired by It's a Good Life, you know? The
other quick one that really stuck out to me was there's an episode where they find a planet full of holographic people. And they have to decide, or like they realize they're holograms, and they're like, do we want to continue to exist, or do we want to like acknowledge what we are and basically shut this whole program down? I was like, this is like stuff.
Yeah.
Although you should probably bleep that actually. It's
done and done.
You've got a funny habit of that, Kyle.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm also bleeping every time you say spoiled, just for reference. Hey.
Also, a lot of people might not realize even the MinnMax moon mission kind of had some Star Trek DNA in there.
Did it really?
Yeah, they've kind of explored some of that stuff on those programs.
Check it out, New Show Plus, everybody. It's bold storytelling adventures. Frostforest writes in, they say, with the Steam Machine and Project Helix, PC gaming is getting closer to the living room than ever. But what will happen to couch co-op? Won't somebody think of the couches? Do you think local co-op will become more prevalent on PC, or will it continue to die off? What are some of your favorite couch co-op games on PC?
Let me pull up my list here. I think it's interesting. It does seem like the place where it may be coming back, and I theorize that's because people who are making games on Steam are the most tapped into the community, especially with early access and stuff. It's like, what do you want? And that's a lot of something that isn't necessarily borne out in data. Maybe that's why games stopped having local co-op, is like people weren't doing it as to nearly the rate that made it make sense. And yet people who want it so bad they're screaming for it and are like eager to fight for a game if it has it, you know. But my example of one that I like is of course called Go Town.
Oh yeah.
With a question
with
mark?
An exclamation point.
Yeah. An exclamation point.
Right. It's a co-op, split screen co-op city builder, but it's kind of based around your character. You're running around interacting with stuff. So it's like a cutesy version of a city builder that can be played totally in co-op, and it's about finding the right places for your villagers, making a cute little town. It's super underrated for the type of
looks cute
city builder I like, where it doesn't get too complicated and is totally playable with a sweetie. It doesn't get too complicated for me, by the way, not to mention my sweetie. So really enjoying that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it's like an Australian developer, and it's like former developers from Ninja Theory, and I think Rocksteady is a cool weird project. Patrick Polk writes in, they say, greetings, decaying president's heads fans. You want to learn more? Read more. In May 2024, when you conducted the town showdown to decide where to do a community meetup, remember you guys when Asheville won, and then we still have to go to Asheville whenever Haley's allowed back into the United States of America. You discussed the decaying president's heads in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'd never heard of them before, but ever since that discussion, I've wanted to go. And the last weekend, I finally made it happen. I took my family to Williamsburg for my daughter's spring break, allegedly to see historic sites, but in actuality, just to see these decaying president heads. I have included pictures below. Since the heads are on private property, you have to buy tickets to seldom offered photography tours in order to see them. It takes some planning to check them out, but it's definitely worth it. Thanks for discussing weird things 2 years ago at MinnMax. There you go. Yeah, look up Virginia decaying president's heads, everybody. There's some good pictures that Patrick Polk here took of just creepy pictures of a decaying George Washington at night. It's beautiful stuff. Mark S. writes in, they say, hey, Maxers, as your careers as streaming personalities have progressed, that's a weird sentence, How have you learned to manage your anxiety while streaming? With Twitch raids as an example, I can't imagine the feeling of goofing around with your friends and suddenly realizing that someone you respect just sent over a few hundred people to watch. You all do so well, but it must be a mind F trying to maintain the same fun atmosphere while a bunch of people you don't know are suddenly judging whether you're funny or not. Well, you can't put it that way, Mark.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I do think about it like most other things where it's the solution seems to be to just vocalize what you're feeling, and that becomes the conversation. If it's all you can think about, just go like, damn, it's crazy. I love Giant Bomb or whatever.
Right.
That becomes like, it naturally spins from there versus like, I brought it to a halt because of my inner feeling I'm not expressing, and now I have to figure out what I want to do instead of expressing it.
I guess I don't think of it that way, and that sounds like an incredibly stressful way to be thinking about it. Like, I have never gone into a stream and immediately been like, what is this idiot? They're making content that's not for me. So because I've never had that.
Why aren't they doing my inside jokes?
Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes I just leave the stream, but I'm never going to walk away being like, oh my God, what was that? Why did I waste my precious eyeball time on that? And so I don't know. I've never had that specific. I have anxiety about a lot of things, but not that one specifically, because I just think most people are going to, if you're watching TV, it's the same thing. You're just like, oh, this one isn't for me. I'm just going to change the channel.
Right. If something obnoxiously bad happens. Yeah. It's the classic lesson in life of like, no one's judging you as much as you think they are, even if they're clicking and watching your stream, I guess.
I mean, specifically playing games, which I do a lot less lately, I get more anxious about like, am I like doing enough in game? Like you know what I mean? Like, is this action interesting? Like, that's the more anxiety-inducing thing than like the thinking of what the people are thinking of me who are watching, or if there's a lot of people. It's like, am I just like walking around and being boring like in the game? I don't know.
Yeah, your heart does skip a beat when you get a big raid. It is super exciting to see that come through. But like, it is like so much of my anxiety is just about being really bad at understanding systems and games, learning systems and games, and that's like fivefold when I'm streaming. Just I can read text and it just does not register. As people might have noticed if they've seen me play games on stream. And so like that is the fear, is just like if I'm going into playing a game that I don't understand at all, and I have to like learn on the stream, and it's even just medium level complexity, I just get sent into an anxiety shame spiral that's really tough to come out of. And maybe it's a little bit of a relief if a big wave of people come in with a Twitch raid. It's like, okay, if I can just focus on like talking to a new group of people, I can do that okay. I've gotten over that anxiety to a decent amount. But like, I was thinking about it recently, like, Ronnie and I, my old friend, we just played through all of Pokemon Snap. And first of all, talking about like, when it comes to the game, Kyle, like, we were locked into that game for like 5 hours, where every other stream we've done has just been like Tangent City. But it's like, there's something about like when a game is that simple and I know it that well, it's comforting to be like, nothing this game can throw at me can shake me to my core, knock me off my feet. It's like, I know these systems so well.
I've streamed a couple of games like that. Yeah,
it's just fun to lock into something that comfortable.
Yeah, it's almost like you can't help but be in the moment when you're streaming because you're so on stage in front of people. And then when you have to learn something, that becomes like, I need to zero in on this instead of doing the streaming thing. And those two just seem to be really hard to mesh or do both at the same time to the level you want to. So that's why it's always been better to stream a game I know well. Like Hitman, where it's just like breathing to play it. It's so fun to stream because it is like, I can play it while half looking at it,
Yep. And the best analogy I have for it is, and I'm sure this is a universal experience for everybody, but like trying to do math on dates. Say like first date, little anxiety, low level hum of anxiety, and then it's like, all right, figure out the tip for this bill. It was just like, like my brain could not process numbers if I have like a low level hum of anxiety. And that's what it feels like sometimes.
Do you guys not know the tip trick, the 20%?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Really? Move the decimal over and add it twice?
Of course.
What if I brought my abacus, Kelsey?
Like truly, like working at retail at GameStop for so many years, I got really good at like hey, if you sign up for the card, like this is how much it'll cost, right? Like I could do that in my head,
Wow.
like because of those tricks and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it just totally falls apart when there's like a quote unquote audience of maybe one person or even maybe one or two other people at a restaurant table.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know, I fall apart too. That's why I married a mathematician.
Oh,
just to take
that's
care of
smart.
that part of my life.
That's
yeah.
smart. Yeah.
I lose words when I'm anxious. I lose like just vocabulary, very simple vocabulary. Sometimes that's my big dumb moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is like I'm like, I need to think of this word, and I'm only thinking, why can't I think of this word? I wish I think of this word soon. Not like any of the thoughts that would get me to the word. And it's same in that
literally
tip
did that earlier
date
in this
situation
episode.
where it's like, I'm trying to perform being good at math. I'm not even trying to do the math.
But
So I'm not
that's-
going to get there.
The secret then is swear words. Good filler if you're panicking. And you seem cool by saying it. That's why they're so popular, I think.
Right. And chicks like when you're expressing your emotions. So you can be like screaming and panicking and sweating and stuff.
Yes. No, it is a nice feeling. Like as somebody who battled anxiety a lot, especially like throughout college and coming out of that, but like nothing's better. Few things in life are better than the feeling, I don't know if you guys ever have this, of just, I should be nervous right now, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Even like occasionally if I'm comfortable streaming on Twitch and say like we get a big raid and hundreds of people are watching, it's just like that feeling of just like, all I'm thinking about in my head is, God, I'm not nervous right now. What a gift. I have truly progressed as a human being because of this.
I think that's reported a lot by people who are so nervous to get up on stage, and then once they're on stage, it's fine. It's like there's a sweet spot of pressure where you're in it and you have no choice but to be in it.
Yeah. Maple Violet, they write in, they say, in honor of people of note, what do you think is the worst pun that's been in the name of a game? Great question, Maple. Thank you for your time.
And there's a lot of bad Ratchet and Clank ones, right?
Oh, that's
Up your arsenal's a stretch. Yeah.
Like a dragon.
Right. Like a virgin? Is that the idea, Leo?
They tell me on that one. But it's not a normal set of words.
I think it's the translation of the studio name. That's good. Sure. Kelsey, you're thinking of something. I see your brain about to explode.
I remember I thumbs up this question, then I was like, I need to come up with one before the podcast. I completely forgot to. I just wanted to.
Well, think of one now. Think of one now.
And also, how much tip should I leave on a $78 meal?
I think the biggest stretch on planet Earth is the PlayStation 1 Looney Tunes game that's called Sheep Raider.
Wait, what is that? That's a pun?
It's a playoff of Tomb Raider.
Oh, like ship. Oh.
Presumably, the PS1 juggernauts. And so it's called, also a bad name, but outside of the United States, it's called Sheep, Dog, and Wolf, which is a stretch. But then in the US, they called it Sheep Raider.
From what?
I don't know what Sheep, Dog, and Wolf is referring to. But the part that weirds me out more is looking into this again, is like, oh yeah, this is this game that stars as, of course, our favorite Looney Tunes character, Ralph Wolf. Do you remember Ralph?
With his eyes are covered, right?
No, that's the dog that he battles against. Okay. But he's just a wolf, and he looks exactly like Wile E. Coyote, except he has a red nose. It is like the weirdest, laziest character ever created. And so in the game, you start out like on the roads with Roadrunner, except you're not Wile E. Coyote, you're Ralph Wolf, who's just Wile E. Coyote with a red nose. It's a fascinating game. And this is a game, I brought it up before because it has the best gag of all time, where you're running really fast on the road, chasing after a Roadrunner, and they do the gag where you're running down the road, and then bam, you slam into a mountain, and it's like literally you actually fell for it, where they just painted the road on the mountain in front of you, but on the PS1 you can't tell, and the path actually goes to the left. You can see it, but you just ram right into it instead. It's a great video game gag.
I came up with one, by the way.
Please.
It's Akiba's Trip, which is a game where you defeat enemies by stripping them of their clothes.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Right, and the apostrophe S, right, is like, yeah, okay.
Yes.
It's you move the decimal point over, essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you double it. Got it, okay.
Got it.
Wile E. Coyote, one of the greatest, by the way, just since it came up. The sign of the golden benchmark of a pun you want to get to, Wile E. Coyote.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're right.
It works on every level.
Also, it's up there with the Count, our favorite character from Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Just Hall of Fame name, you know.
Yeah. But I was going to suggest the Leisure Suit Larry game Wet Dreams Don't Dry,
Oh God.
which is a pun on the sweary game Dark Dreams Don't Die, which was not like a popular or well-known game. It
You
was
said
like a
sweary
Kinect
game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they'd come up with like a Deadly Premonition pun that would like maybe make a little more sense. But yeah, Wet Dreams Don't Dry, which is of course referencing the Xbox Kinect game that not even I played as a Deadly Premonition fan.
What a stretch.
But we should probably take a minute to celebrate the best one, which is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest.
Diddy's Kong Quest, yeah.
They did it. They
Celebrate
really
the
did it.
king, yeah.
Mhm.
Joe W. writes in, they say, do you think a character's voice in a game not sounding the way we want or expect detracts from your enjoyment of it? Like how much of people's enjoyment of that Indiana Jones game was because Troy Baker sounded so much like Harrison Ford? If Indy looked like Harrison Ford but didn't sound like him, would it have mattered? If Wolverine in the new game coming out sounded like Hugh Jackman, would it make it any better?
Oh, I think it would be distracting for Hugh Jackman in that example, because that's not the Hugh Jackman Wolverine.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
want it to sound like Hugh Jackman's Wolverine.
Yeah. But I think in the Indiana Jones game, it would have been distracting because we've played Indiana Jones games where he doesn't sound like himself, and it is kind of distracting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like his voice in Fate of Atlantis and stuff, but it's different.
When this question, the way it was posed, I thought you meant like a character that you that doesn't speak until like the third game or something,
that works,
and then they don't sound exactly like how you think they sound, like outside of established characters.
Yeah.
You know,
You got an
like
example?
if Isaac in Dead Space 2 didn't sound like I had expected him to sound, would that have detracted for me? And I think the answer is no, because I think you just get used to it. Like you're just like, oh, okay, I thought he was gonna have a deeper voice, but he doesn't.
Yeah,
you know?
it's just weird when you don't get used to character's voice. Like a big one for me, and something that I do lose sleep about, is my favorite character from Final Fantasy VII is Sid Highwind, of course, our main man. And them setting up how he's going to sound and act in Rebirth from like the, somewhat brief interactions you have with him in Rebirth have me so worried about it, because it's just like, it's not my Sid. I want like gravelly, chain-smoking voice, but instead he's just like anime Southern guy. Where he's like, oh, heavens to Betsy, this highway's flying fast. It's like, that's not my Sid. I want him to be kind of gruff and scary. Sure. I'll take a little Southern twang, but not like guy from Boston who's doing an anime Southern accent. It's like, it's just off.
For those embedded characters, right? Like whatever that trailer that builds up to Link's first word in that movie, you know, it's going to be like a musical sting that's going to be like, it's going to be a silence, and he's going to go like, it's me or something. I already imagine I'm gonna hate it.
We already established.
No, that's wrong.
We already established on this podcast what he says in that moment in the trailer, but we're not going to repeat it on this airwave.
Oh, dude, that's right.
God's Garage, they write and they say, Computer 11 cohorts, what would your last meal consist of? It should include at least one appetizer, entree, side, drink, and dessert. You get a dessert for your last meal?
No, I'm going all desserts.
Dessert is
100% desserts.
Yeah, but you'll feel so gross in the morning, Kelsey. What would you choose?
You'll feel gross forever in heaven.
Kelsey, you literally asked me this like a couple days ago.
I did, because we're gonna maybe be doing something with your last meal. We're killing Ben Hansen, everybody.
Look forward to it.
Don't worry about it.
Subscribe now.
You show and expires.
But yeah, I think I genuinely would just go all desserts, and I would go, honestly, probably like some of it might be kind of normal, like an apple pie or something. But I think just for my last day, I just want to go as like goblin as humanly possible. I'm gonna have like candy corn. I'm gonna have marshmallow peeps.
What?
I'm gonna have just like
Good things. Do you like the taste of that?
I love those things, and they're
Respect.
Yes, I do. I love terrible candy.
I'm a candy corn fan as well.
Okay, look.
Yay, okay, good.
Look. Candy corn gets a bad rap. If you got a bowl of candy corn, I'm going to eat it. I'm going to like it. But if they're saying you're about to be in the electric chair, you can have any food on earth, candy corn's numbered 7,081. Come on, you guys.
It's up there for me. I really
think
think
3 or 4 for you, Kelsey. You said apple pie, candy corn.
Whoa.
It's high. It's higher than I would expect, but
Death Row mellow cream pumpkins, class it up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. It's
okay.
a big day.
Gentleman's candy corn.
Yeah.
It's going to be all candy. It's going to be all desserts. I want to die feeling just terrible. I want to be like ready to die. I'll be like,
Not a bad
my
strategy,
stomach hurts
honestly.
so bad. This was such a mistake. Please kill me now.
Oh, that's good. That's a good strategy. Yeah, so I'm gonna have
that's
like
smart.
razor blades.
Yeah, for sure.
What's my last meal
Hurry
that
it
could do
up.
the most
Come on,
damage?
come on.
Yeah. Leo, what'd you go with?
A little, they eat it on Hannibal. It's like a whole cooked little bird. You're supposed to cover your eyes and eat whole.
Right, you're supposed to put a
Consume kind of a
blanket
thing.
over your head, right?
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
gotta have that.
Gotta
I
have
feel like a deep dish pizza from Devani's, which how blessed are we if our death row meal is something we can order at any time. But it really is a great meal, and I want to get that nice, filled, lethargic, feeling chill vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Settled.
The vibe's important. But really, how important is it really? It's silly to live your entire life and be like, yeah, but I'm going to be chill for the last 2 minutes when I'm really not going to be chill. Come on. Come on, you guys. I think this is a foolish question.
Give up?
Isn't it wonderful that I'm not anxious right now? That's what you'll be
I'm
thinking.
gonna be fasting. Graham Jones writes in.
No cheat days.
That's right. Clarity of mind. Graham Jones writes in to say, listening to this week's MinnMax interview with the GoldenEye developers had me thinking about making games with big or existing IP versus new IP. Do you think it's harder to make the best game possible with big IP because there's too much risk-averse behavior from the IP owners? Or is this vary wildly by IP? Yeah, I think it's got to vary pretty wildly, but I'd imagine it's an absolute nightmare dealing with IP in this way. That's where like the teams that can do it well, you know, like Sakurai's team or Omega Force, like that have the balanced, nuanced touches to actually know how to navigate this different IP is a miracle. Because, oh my God.
I would
please.
truly love to sit in on those types of meetings between IP holders and the game developers where they're like, I don't think Spider-Man would pick up a phone this way. You know, like just the dumbest minutia of like, he doesn't really say hello. He's more of a hey guy.
Yep. Because
Doesn't really wear the color green.
it has to happen because like that's your job. It's probably a lot of people's jobs with this big IP is just to like, I don't know, sit around and think of those rules. You know, like I always think of Kyle when we went to see Avalanche, the different Avalanche, not the Tyndalston story predecessors, but the one in Salt Lake City. But they made Dragon Ball Z Sagas, that bad PS2, GameCube, Xbox Dragon Ball game. And they said that they like, you know, we're going back and forth for approvals.
Did we state that we were there for Disney Infinity? Did you
it was
say
for
that?
Disney Infinity, yeah.
Okay.
But they said like, yeah, they made us take like all these animations and kicks and attacks out of the game because like Goku would never kick like that. And it's like, we literally modeled it after the show. Here's him doing the exact same animation in the show. I was like, no, but canonically that's different now. It feels different, you know? So just like those types of arguments every day. And everybody always that I hear, you know, works on Star Wars games, for example, just want to run out of the building with their hair on fire. It's just such a nightmare to get approvals for all this crap.
Yeah, I remember when we went to see, I think it's Leo, it was for the first Jedi, what's the Jedi Outcast? I always forget, I'm confused.
Fallen
Jedi
Order.
Survivor.
Law and Order?
Law and Order? Is that what you said?
Yeah, we said Jedi Law and Order.
But they were talking about like, they were saying like, yeah, we just like don't even name the characters of the worlds or anything. We don't even bother. Like we just give them to Lucas to like, yeah, you name the planets and stuff. Like, cause otherwise it's just going to be this like back and forth for like gibberish names and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Which I just always thought was interesting.
Yeah. I remember the Daniels who directed Swiss Army Man and Everything Everywhere All at Once. Before Everything Everywhere All at Once, I believe they were offered Loki to be part of the MCU to direct that, and they were like, the truth is we like making movies, and if you're working on a project like that, you're just in meetings all day. That's all your job is.
Yeah.
And I think it does seem very dreadful and very anti the type of art that is interesting to me to be worried about those IP things all the time, especially because like, I don't know, we're getting wide, thinking more about AI recently. People like to say, you know, AI helps me, you know, you can make art now. Anybody can make a piece of art with the power of AI. But I really don't mind holding the line of like, I think wanting to put in the effort to make art should be a barrier to having art made. And I think a lot of the problems we get into with a lot of the least interesting art that we are forced to experience is because it starts with let's make money off of this thing, and then the art comes backwards. And frankly, I'm not interested in the art part of it, but we'll get some guys to do that, and I'll give them some notes.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So it's like the more the money gets involved, the less the art gets involved for me.
Yeah. It's weird. I feel like still in some people's mind, it's like if I could just get that IP, I'd be on Money Street USA, baby. That's when people, and I feel like Marvel's Midnight Suns kind of broke me in the video game industry in that sense. Just seeing like how that game did not do well, a lot of the team kind of shattered off from that, and it's like, well, Firaxis made a good Marvel game, but nobody was interested. And I feel like there are so many games now. I mean, Deadpool? I'm sure when Twisted Pixel. Not Twisted Reflections. When Twisted Pixel locked down like the Deadpool IP, it's like, all right, well, I guess we're safer than normal. And then they released that game. And from what I can see, 0 people purchased it. And just nobody cared. And I feel like that IP is just so much less special. And then you hear about, from the Insomniac leak that happened a little while ago, about just like the rates that at least Disney takes, where I think it was like around 20% of every copy sold went to Disney, which, is, in some ways like, well, I guess that's fair. If they do own Spider-Man, people are largely buying that game because of Spider-Man, but that just becomes an insane proposition to try and make your money back. And so, I think of, at DICE this year, there was like, keeping it anonymous, but there was like, a studio head that I was talking to, and they're like, yeah, we just locked down this big IP for making a game on, and somebody else was with me, and they're like, oh, that's great. IPs are the way to go for safety these days in the game industry. I was like, I don't know. And then there's another situation where there was like, somebody from a beloved video game studio, and they were taking a Disney meeting with like LucasArts about making a Star Wars game. And when I heard that meeting was happening, I was like, in a previous life, I'd be, that's exciting that a big studio might be making a Star Wars game, but I'm like, don't do it. Like in my mind, I'm like, I don't want a big talented studio to be sucked into the Star Wars vortex. Please don't do it. And I just don't think it's safe or as creatively interesting as theoretically what the studio could be making in other worlds,
Yeah, the safety is not borne out for sure.
Yeah. So it's a weird one. Also in that Insomniac leak, I forgot, but I was looking into this. It turns out that I think for like hardware bundles, for Spider-Man hardware bundles, Disney got 50% of all the money from those. Isn't that weird?
Like the console, like the PlayStation. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why they would get a bigger cut for that. I don't know what the logic is there, but who knows? AJ writes in, and they say, "Oh God, AJ, you're coming at my heart here." They say, "You know how different school subjects have an assigned color in your head because of the folders? Like math is red, language arts is green, etc."
What?
Hang on. To which part?
Science is green.
Yeah, like geography is green. Math being red.
I don't think math is red, but I'll let that one slide. Science is universally green. Yeah. There's no question.
Geography is green because it's the planet.
It's the planet.
It's like the land map.
Oh, it's science.
Yeah, but it could double up. It could double up. Like
it's life.
Yellow feels English to me. I
agree with that.
Okay.
I think I've lost most all of these, but except I am confident that Spanish was purple. How is that feeling?
Whoa.
Feels red to me.
I accept it.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, but I usually have red has already been
if that's claimed,
assigned to something else. Yeah.
I
didn't start taking Spanish until after I had already, had an English class and a history and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I don't consider myself a very aesthetically minded person, believe it or not. But for some reason, this is like, I would get so into this. Every school season would start up, like, I'd be so invested in choosing, like, all right, which color is which? Because it's just like, it's so fun because it's like a thought experiment. Like, all right, I have to come up with the metaphorical representation of the entire feeling of this. And it's like, this is just a cool mind game. There's got to be some tabletop game based on this, right?
What is the question?
I don't care.
Really heated about science not being green.
So AJ says, what video game genre is what color?
Ooh.
Okay, this will be good. A fresh start. I think that's helpful. Here.
Okay, so here we go. Let's figure out the genres first. So like RPGs, right? What other genres should we? Driving or
racing, RPG, sports. I mean, I'm going really broad, right?
Roguelike.
Roguelike. Action is where it gets messy. Let's go action game, and then action adventure, just to stick with the policies, of course, from Jeff Keighley.
Fighting.
We must resist. We must.
Best directing.
That's right. By the way, I'll bring it up in the Get a Load of This thing, I swear, but I saw this footage of Jeff Keighley and it was amazing. I'm like, how is this not a GIF? How is this not out there more? But it was him at like a Call of Duty event, and he was on camera with them, and they had a glass of Mountain Dew, and he was with some babe-a-reno, and they like had their arms on each other, and they're like taking big sips of Mountain Dew, like in a romantic interlock pose. Like this amazing footage.
Weird.
As game industry as it gets. All right.
This is hard. I don't think I have any answers.
RPGs. What color Trapper Keeper or folder are your RPG games going into?
And we have to like commit, right? Like,
oh, we gotta commit.
Like racing feels. I know I'm like totally sidelining your first question here, but like I feel confident that racing is red.
Racing's red.
Okay.
But
it's a big color for a small genre.
I agree.
Is my only.
Yes.
Right. That's what like this red is that too dangerous a pick? Is red off the board at that point? And that's a problem, you know.
Right. You'd want to go fuchsia or something.
Oh, I like that. I like
fun side color.
I like fuchsia for racing. There's no doubt about that. Okay.
That feels like speed.
Yeah.
Feels like speed.
RPGs feels blue to me.
I was gonna say that actually.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. Awesome. Roguelike.
That could be red.
This is the red.
It's that, or maybe it's black. Actually,
Whoa.
That'd be
you can have like a black
I'm with
folder,
that.
right? Like you can't really color code. You know, your
Note.
pieces of paper can't be black. I guess.
I
but
like that. And is either then fighting is
can.
red because of all the blood in fighting games?
You could also say that for shooter, though.
Oh yeah. Shooters.
Shooters are
I liked
green
red
to me
for roguelike
racing.
because of its intensity, because of its like danger.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
Also,
there's anything else that could-
Rogue, Rouge. You know, kind of.
Okay, so I'll write down
Kind of the same
rouge.
word. It's a rouge-like.
Okay, let's say roguelikes are red. Violets are
Mouths are
blue.
blue.
Get in on this, Kelsey.
It's fun to say violence is blue.
We all had fun.
Okay, so let's see. Action adventure. Of course, that's like
What's a platformer?
Oh yeah,
Is that green? Are platformers green?
I think so. And I just think of Mario
I
64.
think yellow.
Mario 64 feels
Ooh.
green.
I like yellow. I like yellow for platformer. That sounds cool.
Look, we all like the color yellow.
No,
but
I think for platform, I think that makes sense. I don't know why. I think that feels right.
My headphones died 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. What was your
I don't know. I don't like yellow for platformers because platformers are bubbly and joyful, and yellow is like
Okay, yellow. Okay,
sort of like
yellow
like
for fighting
Xbox.
game, and then green
No,
for
let Kyle
platform.
say
yellow.
what yellow is.
it's urine.
wanna
Is
hear
that what you want? It's urine. It's a dehydrated person relieving themselves into a toilet.
Wow. So survival game.
Sports.
Yeah, but well, are we talking about survival horror or survival? We're talking about survival, right? Like those are two different things.
Survival. The
Because
forest.
survival horror also feels red to me because of the Resident Evil logo.
That's
you know?
black. That's
just-
obviously black.
Yeah, that's black.
That's like
All right.
sports is brown.
Let's see what the commenters say.
Okay, shooters.
Neil Smith says yellow for Strand games.
Okay, we're running out of colors here. Shooters. A
Well,
white.
there's a shooter called Black.
Yeah, black's already survival
That's
horror.
horror games.
Sorry, we got it. But that is a good point. This is back to like the, game names
The
with colors in them that we
game
talked about a
color
while
game
ago. Yeah,
point.
I could go shooters white.
I want it to be like gray or silver or something though.
Silver?
White's too pure.
Okay.
White should be like simulation, God
Yes.
Sim City.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
White is
Although-
for sim
Thank you.
games.
Yeah.
I will say for white, I do think of like Final Fantasy box art, like really just mostly white with the logo. like
RPGs would be
Final
cool
Fantasy
for white.
9,
That is
you know?
true. That is true.
Oh, and then we get blue back
Yeah, but
on
they're
the
blue
board.
already.
And blue is a pretty
Let's get blue back on the
Pretty
board.
main
Yep.
color.
RPGs,
No, blue
sorry.
back on the board?
Yep. Blue is back on the board. RPGs are white now.
well. Then
sorry.
what's Sims? Because I thought white worked really well
So
for
much
sim games too.
less excitement for that than the white for Sims.
Okay, I'm
yeah.
swapping it back.
This is a classic 210s. Ben's in control of the dot.
Okay, poison shuriken for fuchsia. Okay, action and action adventure. Action adventure feels green to me, but
Yeah,
I guess that's
I was agreeing.
platformers, so we're out of luck.
That works.
You're outside. You're in the grass. You know.
Wait, so what is?
Platformers
Did we
green.
decide green for platformers?
It is right now. We can swap it if we want to, I guess.
I don't understand why yellow
about
can't be platformers.
Because Leo
of the
got
urine
weird about
argument.
it. And yellow
Your
right now.
argument was strong.
Yeah, the fighting game is yellow right now, which
Fighting game is yellow.
Yeah.
That feels most correct actually, and I don't know why,
yeah.
but it does.
It's like a EX energy
yeah,
color, you know?
yeah.
Yeah. Can somebody Google colors to figure out what we have left for action and action adventure?
We gotta just start
Oh,
getting.
I generated.
2023 Beck album. I wonder if I got the
Okay.
year right on that. That would have been a really good joke if I nailed the year.
I would've
2017.
laughed
I was
and
way
gotten
off.
There's pink. We got pink and purple on the board.
Thought we had a purple already. What
We
was
have
purple?
fuchsia for racing.
Oh, fuchsia. Okay.
You know, hey,
Yeah, we still have orange. We still have brown.
orange, MinnMax orange. I could see orange for action. I
Yeah.
think that works.
That's all right.
Okay,
Sure.
and then action adventure, pink, because that's all that's left, even though it don't feel right.
No,
have
but
purple?
we can do like we could still do like cyan, lime green. We've got colors to play with here.
If we're getting into lime green, we got to
Blood orange.
Blood orange. What are we?
Hunter green, neon
Hunter
green.
Umber.
Uh, are fuchsia and purple too close?
Celadon.
No.
That's a Pokemon.
Just going to Pokemon.
Purple is Spanish. We already had that one set.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Spanish video games, right.
purple, Yeah,
Right.
Spanish. Okay. Well, we got RPGs are blue, racing is fuchsia, sports are brown, survival horror is black, roguelikes are red, action games are orange, simulations are white, platformers are green, fighting games are yellow, shooters are silver, and action adventure. Leave the comment below. Let us know what color you want in there.
And I love you.
Got it.
Nice. That honestly, as you read those off, those all sounded right.
I
good.
agree with most of them. Yeah, I think they sound pretty good.
Sweet. Well, then, what sounds good for you for winning Conker's Bad Fur Day vinyl? Could I remind you?
Easy to pick the last one, but that of course was
Yeah.
great and exciting, and we could have stopped way earlier, but we were having too much fun, which is something.
Having a hoot. Ocarina of Time remake. Let's see. Star Fox reinvention. Least valuable game in your collection. Shows you rewatched multiple times. Anxiety while streaming. Worst pun names. What do you like?
All great
I like
questions.
I know it's like Leo pointed out, it was the last one, so it's on our mind, but it was a really unique question, the colors of the subjects and applying them to genres. I think it was really smart.
I had fun with this. This question made me smile.
Okay, and Kelsey Kansas, she's becoming the Joker slowly, thanks to AJ. So congratulations, you just won the vinyl for My 8-Bit. Now it's time for something we call Get a Load of This. Hey, get a load of this, everybody. It was posted a little while ago, but just fun. Where Stuart Copeland, the drummer from The Police, he just has been uploading videos of him jamming with himself in like multiple takes and playing a bunch of songs from Spyro the Dragon, a game that he composed.
Oh, cool.
And it's just really fun to see him go all out. Just like seeing an old guy just leaning that hard into the Spyro 1 soundtrack, which has a really special place in my heart. It's just fun to see that, like, you know, if you've been a rock god for most of your life, in your retirement age, all you want to do is just play some Spyro the Dragon tracks, man, in your studio by yourself. And it's a good time. So check out the description if you want to watch it.
Hey, get a load of this on the music tangent. I'm trying to find the source here, but I don't know who made it, but there's this website called wantmymtb.vercel.app. And what it is it's someone who's basically organized like thousands and thousands and thousands of like MTV music videos. And what you can do is like you can like basically watch like an approximation of like MTV from various eras, like from its beginning. You can even pick like, I just want to watch 2000s MTV, and it like has all these music videos like in a playlist, and it will even throw in like old ads and stuff like
that's
that.
excellent.
And it's like a really impressive like how organized and how many videos they have. But like I just had a great time just like picking like MTV 2000s and just letting it play and just playing all these like old like music videos and stuff. But it's a really cool website. wantmymtv.vercel.app. It's really cool.
Interesting.
I'm so checking that out. I love like on YouTube people have blocks of programming from 2003 on Nickelodeon or whatever. And I have I make so much effort to cut ads out of my life now to be watching them as little as possible, but with nostalgia I'm like skipping through the shows to get to the ads. It's so fun to watch those.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a load of this. Wikipedia speedruns have been a thing for a while. Wikispeedruns.com is the specific one I was using last night. I only learned just then that they have multiplayer now, so you can make a lobby for your friends to join to do Wikipedia speedruns, which is you start from one article and you have to get to another article. It can be randomly generated like on this site in as few clicks and as little of time as possible, like as few moves to get to some challenging stuff. We were trying to get to like the list of Swedish, like the Swedish top 40, which had some crazy long Swedish name. It was very challenging to get to. I had to go like through ABBA, but they're too popular. They're like on the Billboard 100, so you have to find like a lesser Swedish band, and then they ranked on.
That's good. That's
fun stuff to do with friends, and you can see like how long they took and what path they took, and break it down after and talk about like, oh, I had a huge breakthrough here. It's just a fun thing to do multiplayer.
Did you start on like a random page, or what is your?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fun.
You start on a different random page. Yeah,
that's cool.
Get a load of this. You guys know the gaming historian, the YouTuber who's been at it for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
He just announced officially that he's retiring. He was, a big inspiration for me, probably for a ton of people who got interested in video game history. So he announced that he's retiring, but also I don't know how I missed this. I'm sure I learned of this at some point, but I had never listened to an episode. He's had a podcast with his wife, who's also very smart, for like a pretty long time now. And it's called An Old Timey Podcast. And it's just a great little history of random things podcast. And I think if you like MinnMax
video
humor,
game focus necessarily?
No, it's got no video game focus whatsoever. They just teach each other a historical story, and it's very entertaining, and they clearly like each other a lot, which is cool. I like when couples like each other.
It helps.
It helps. They've got great chemistry. It's a good show.
Yeah. And like his example is like, I think the history of the squirt gun, I think. But also it just seems like a really healthy goodbye message. Where he's like, I took a break waiting for a spark to come back and it never did. So I think that means I'm done. Bye everybody. It's been fun. It's like, it just feels like it's nice to see an internet personality. Who knows, right? But it seems like they're just coming from a really healthy place of just being like, I'm done here. Thank you. It's just very sweet. And it's an honor. He was, the last video was about Oregon Trail. And like, I was talking to him and like, he used some footage that I shot in that and like, thanks to MinnMax and stuff in the descriptions. It's like, oh, it's cool to be like in his last big video ever in some way. You know?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, get a load of this. Definitely not Jesse in the MinnMax community Discord. They shared in the Get a Load of This channel. They shared a video from Cade Onder, and it's about the chaotic development of Modern Warfare 3, the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So it's called Inside the Chaotic Development, Modern Warfare 3, a documentary. And it's like 2 hours long, and it's really great. He's got like great interviews with like, all the leads for Modern Warfare 3, which was such a messy project. And I just love this idea of like all these years later being able to zoom in on this one project because it's like a pivotal moment on several different fronts. That's right, with the Vince, Jason West lawsuit boiling up, and they left after Modern Warfare 2. And so that, and then Sledgehammer forming, and then Infinity Ward trying to collaborate on this game with Sledgehammer and them kind of butting heads. And then there was a huge Kotaku leak that spoiled the entire story, like months and months before the game came out. And so trying to wrangle that. So it's just like a nice slice of the game industry to zoom into. And so it's got good interviews and just like, I'm so thankful because like, being a Game Informer in that time when the Activision lawsuit was going on and it was just the biggest story in the world and trying to push for quotes and get an understanding of what was happening. And it's just so refreshing now to just have people like Robert Bowling on YouTube in this interview just being like, here's exactly what happened. Here's all the super shitty things Activision's lawyers tried to convince me to do. And just like that level of transparency all these years later, it's just like, thank God that we can just be open and talk about this thing that was such a huge story. And it's all under the shadow of Vince Zampela's death, in December of last year as well, and just talking about the impact that he had, and so it's a surreal time, but just a good way to zoom in on the industry. Just spend 2 hours thinking about Modern Warfare 3. So link below if you want to learn more about that. There we go, everybody. That's it for this episode of the MinnMax Show. Thanks, everybody, for watching, listening, sharing, all that good stuff. We got a lot of stuff going on here at MinnMax. Jacob Geller and I, as we mentioned, we're flying to Spain very soon, so check out the link in the description if you want to come meet up with us in Valencia. Otherwise, look forward to that MinnMax Spotlight, probably airing later in April here. We have a new MinnMax interview up on our YouTube channel and the bonus podcast feed, and as mentioned, it's with developers of GoldenEye, but then also the co-creators of Time Splitters. Two very important games for me. So it's fun to talk about them, about the kind of failed relaunch of Time Splitters under Embracer, what happened there. They have a new game called Beyond Words, which is out now, a roguelike Scrabble game, which is funny how many of those are popping up, but like from these legendary creators, it's fun to see them taking a dabble in that genre. Otherwise, a bonus pod this week is in that bonus podcast feed if you're a $5 supporter, and it's an awesome episode for Haley. It's one of those... Jacob's on it too, and he does a great job. But it's so awesome to have bonus pod, just like those episodes where Haley can just let her rip. And it's her unpacking the state of publisher agreements and then also patents and the idea of the Pokemon Company patent being overturned recently. And so if you want to hear Haley kind of floor it for her specific knowledge on those two fronts, it's a great episode for that. So check that out there. And then, New Show Plus, Leo, we send you to space this week on YouTube.
Yeah, thanks. I forgot that it's been just a week for you guys. Yeah, that's crazy. Interesting adventure there for sure. Worth checking out. It's a classic style New Show Plus wandering through nonsense, finding it eventually.
Yeah, it's in the real world as well. So check that out on MinnMax's YouTube channel. And then again, reminder, next week's episode of the MinnMax Show might be going up on Thursday or Friday, a little bit later than usual. So bear with us. Don't be alarmed if it's not popping up in your regular time. Just relax. Be at ease, because it will be there eventually. All right, that's it. Anybody else got anything they're dying to say?
Nope.
Be good, have fun, let's go.